sat 7 points clear at the top of the Premier League table. Mikel Arteta's revolution began to reap rewards. That was after a 3-1 win over today's opponents, West Ham, here at the Emirates. However, they couldn't go on and seal the title, collapsing in, unfortunately, rather typical Gunners fashion, including throwing away a 2-goal lead away at today's opponents, West Ham, back in April. They're out to end another calendar year on top of the pile, but they know it would all mean nothing if they haven't learned from their past mistakes. Hopefully it will be an electric evening here at the Emirates. Kickoff coming at 8:15 p.m. Remember, it's Brighton 2, Spurs 0, 34 minutes played over on TalkSport 2 right now. But let's look ahead to this fixture. Arsenal midfielder Declan Rice will be going up against his former club once again tonight. He lifted West Ham's first major trophy in 43 years back in June, then was booed by some West Ham fans in the Carabao Cup game at the London Stadium earlier on this season. He was fantastic against Liverpool and looking worth every penny last time out of the £105 million that the Gunners paid for him.
Declan Rice surging towards the penalty area. Declan Rice is going to go all alone. Oh my word! That is a brilliant goal from West Ham's captain.
Into the path of Rice, who skates into the box. He takes on one defender and smashes it into the top of the net. And Declan Rice rescues West Ham United in stoppage time.
Now it may be his last act as West Ham captain. He's treading in the footsteps, Declan Rice, of the great Bobby Moore, the first man since Billy Bonds to do it for West Ham. Declan Rice grabs the Conference League trophy, thrusts it into the Prague night.
Dec has given everything to the club and he's been absolutely phenomenal, and he's been our best player for the last 3 seasons. I feel that everyone sort of at the club knows that it's coming to an end, if you know, but he's got to go and play in the Champions League week in, week out.
Arsenal have submitted a massive offer for Declan Rice, 100 million plus 5 million in add-ons.
I think he'll be perfect for Arsenal need right now. Shame for West Ham, but they're getting a lot of money for him, but I expect him to take Arsenal to the next level.
It's the perfect fit.
I've been saying for 2 years now that Declan Rice would be a game-changing signing.
Declan Rice, what a time to score his first Arsenal goal. In came the corner from the right-hand side. Time almost seemed to stand still inside that Manchester United penalty area as Rice plucked the ball down and drilled it low into the corner. What a moment for him. Right at the end of the game, it's Arsenal 2, Manchester United 1.
He's going to be a major asset to Arsenal, there's no doubt.
The quality and the competitive element of the Premier League, it was important that Arsenal got hold of Declan Rice, because you can see the impact that he's had on them already.
And Arsenal are back in it. Chelsea 2, Arsenal 1. Sanchez passing the ball out from the back. He passed it straight to Declan Rice, who from around about 35 yards, to be fair, picked his spot and rammed the ball into the empty net.
Declan Rice, I think, has come in, for a lot of Arsenal fans, has pretty much been man of the match in every single game.
He's been absolutely brilliant. He's always plays every single minute of every game, doesn't get injured a lot. He's been such an influence in that midfield, an important player for him, and people always forget about the price tag if you're doing your job.
Back to Odegaard, whips the ball in, header into the back of the net. Unbelievable! 6 minutes and 25 seconds of injury time, and Declan Rice has headed the ball home. A 7-goal thriller, one right at the end, and a £100 million man, Declan Rice. Finished here, Luton 3, Arsenal 4.
He's been terrific for us, and I think he has really performed at the highest level, especially on big games, and that's when you want to see your big players.
So intelligent as a footballer, he just senses danger. He has been absolutely outstanding. Outstanding. People would always say, look, he's worth every penny at the moment.
He has been absolutely outstanding for Arsenal this season, Declan Rice. No one actually says now, £105 million player Declan Rice. They just say Declan Rice, because the price tag makes no difference if you're performing.
Me as a player, I've come in really hungry to have more success and to spend my best years at this great club.
I think he's been quite immense, actually, Declan Rice. I really do think that he's risen to the challenge. I just feel now he's brought something else. His character, personality. You just get the feeling that Arsenal have got something a bit different this season.
Declan fast becoming a fan favourite here at the Emirates, and a key piece of Mikel Arteta's midfield. We'll see if he can add to his burgeoning reputation here this evening. I'll get the views of Stuart Pearce on his impact in a moment, but let's check in very quickly at the Amex, where Brighton had made a brilliant start. Have Spurs responded? Ian Abrahams?
No, 6 to the break, Brighton 2, Spurs 0. Hinshelwood and that penalty by João Pedro, and since the goal, James Milner's called a 20-yarder onto the post, and Buonanote's had a goal rightly disallowed for offside, but still the ball was back in the back of the Spurs net. It's on TalkSport 2, Spurs are getting a battering. Brighton 2, Spurs 0.
So Declan Rice, absolutely brilliant. His former first-team coach Stuart Pearce and Sam Matterface are alongside me. Stuart, huge price tag, huge expectation as Rice arrived at the club. Are you surprised with just how seamlessly he's made this transition and the impact he's having right now?
In a word, no, I'm not surprised. He's magnificent. He was brilliant for West Ham, the way he conducted himself and his family in regard to all the speculation. I don't think I've ever seen a player leave a football club or be welcomed to another football club with both sets of fans absolutely delighted with the way it's portrayed. West Ham have got replacements in. Declan's seamlessly gone to another club and carried on the career, both for club and country, as though, you know, it's a walk in the park for him. He's an absolute credit to the game.
One of his key responsibilities this evening would have been keeping a close eye on Lucas Paquetá. We're seeing the players in the tunnel. He is there in his West Ham kit. He will start the game here this evening. We'll have to keep a close eye, though, on his left knee. If he's not right, how much is that going to hurt West Ham?
It'll be a massive blow, because in a game where West Ham are not going to have a lot of the possession of the ball, he is the one individual that can carry the ball for West Ham, the length of the pitch, buy free kicks, break the momentum of the game up, and do that something slightly different that probably his other teammates can't.
Their players are now making their way out onto the pitch here at the Emirates. Every fan stands to applaud their team. Most certainly the pride of North London right now. Declan Rice waves away, I'm sure, to family. Gabriel Jesus points to the sky. Few words there of, I guess, hope and promise for what's ahead. West Ham's players ready to go. Stuart, how do they stop? And I have to, I think, take this angle here, because Arsenal have been so good at home. How do West Ham stop them?
Well, they're going to have to deny them space in and around their back line, that is for sure. They're going to have to defend compactly, and they're going to have to be very clinical on the counter-attack. They've got the tools to hurt Arsenal, there's no doubt about that, in Bowen, in Kudos, in Paqueta, but they've got to defend well, and that's the question mark for me. Can they defend that Arsenal front five, if you like?
We're about to find out. Big game. Arsenal against West Ham in the Premier League on the way. Remember, over on TalkSport 2, Brighton 2, Spurs 0. More football to come this week, all exclusively for you. Tomorrow at 6 p.m. on TalkSport 2, Southampton against Plymouth Argyle in the Championship. Then at 8:15, West Brom against Leeds. On Saturday lunchtime, Luton against Chelsea in the Premier League here on TalkSport. And at 3 o'clock here, we will have Manchester City against Sheffield United. So much great action still to come, but first, a big London derby in the Premier League here at the Emirates Stadium. The first title triumph in 20 years remains the goal for Arsenal. They want to end the year on top with a win, and they'll be dreaming of righting all the wrongs of this year in 2024. Arsenal against West Ham in the company of the former England and Hammers defender Stuart Pearce and TalkSport Sam Matterface.
sorry, this commentary is not available in your country. Please visit talksport.com/commentaries to hear an alternative stream or listen to TalkSport 2 for even more live sport.
TalkSport has so much sport, we're running out of radio to play it.
In fact, we've got enough rugby, cricket, horse racing, boxing, motor racing and golf
For an entire other radio station.
And the thrilling games continue.
The prodigal son of all radio stations is on the air. TalkSport 2, because sport never stops.
There ain't no stopping it now.
Get set for more live sport, more incisive pundit comment and opinion, and more Andrew McKenna.
Thank you very much. That'll do.
Sport radio that hits you for 6. TalkSport 2.
Well, that's what ball and he's volume. He's dragged it back onto the stumps.
Tackling live Super League action.
Strong and hard and made of steel.
La tosse secca o grassa nei più piccoli. Puoi provare il bronchinolo siroppo pediatrico.
Con l'assicurazione non fare una Macedonia. Senti Reale Mutua che ti parlo mentre tu mangi. Per la tua salute scegli il menù completo.
Forward to Gabriel Jesus, who scored early against West Ham at the London Stadium in April in that 2-2 draw. Here is Ødegaard, onto Jesus, inside the penalty area, plays it back to Saka, then gets it back from Saka. They're still inside the box here, scooping it around and dominating the football and causing panic amongst the West Ham backline, and they just can't get it clear. And Arsenal, intricate football, tight spaces, are just keeping hold of the ball when it looked unlikely that they'd be able to. Rice beats a player and purrs down the right-hand side, gives it to Saka, whose cross goes past the goalkeeper, and then Sofao somehow gets it clear out to the far side, and it goes out for a throw in the end to West Ham United. But it's a lively start by Arsenal here at the Emirates Stadium, and West Ham are on the back foot, Stuart.
Yeah, they certainly are, and it's all happening right in front of us in West Ham's left back area. They're putting so much pressure on, intricate passing, as you mentioned earlier, and Saka once again goes past Emerson.
0-0, 5 minutes gone, and Paquetá has the ball on this near touchline, plays it infield, gives it to Ogbonna. He clips it upfield to Jarrod Bowen, who tries to hold it up, but immediately is engaged by the West Ham captain. He does brilliantly to use his body to shirk the challenge of Ødegaard, then runs forward, tries to go past his mate Declan Rice, who prods out a right foot, so ends the ball back to his defence. And Arsenal got it again, and they turn it over quickly, and they move over the halfway line, down the right, hugging the touchline is Saka. He meanders into the right wing position. Paquetá's not getting back, and that's causing them a problem. Ødegaard now, with a bit of space to manoeuvre, nudges it to Rice, who's encouraged to shoot. Out wide to Gabriel. Now further on to Martinelli, who fancies his chances over on the far side against Kudus and Sofao. And he wins the throw-in over on the far side. We'll go off to the Amex in just a second. It's half-time there, but Arsenal are on the attack with Zinchenko. Then Rice, 10 yards outside the box. Space again out wide for Bukayo Saka, whose left-footed ball is deep towards Martinelli at the far post, who brings it down, and Souček has to go across and snuffle the ball away. And then gets it out wide, but only for Zinchenko to win it. And West Ham second to every ball at the moment. Trossard has it, plays it down the left, inaccurate, cut out by Souček. And then up to the halfway line. Off to half-time at the Amex, Ian Abrahams.
Brighton 2, Spurs 0. Jack Hinchelwood with a smashing one in from about 10 yards out. A João Pedro penalty given by VAR. But Brighton could have 4 or 5 more. Vicario has made some brilliant saves, and Milner's hit a post. It's on TalkSport 2, the second half. Brighton 2, Spurs 0.
You can listen to live commentary if you want to. Here it's 0-0 between Arsenal and West Ham. And here's Zinchenko, far side the left, helping the ball into the box. Cannons off Sofao. Half-hearted complaints from Zinchenko for a handball, and eventually goes out for a throw-in on the far side level with the edge of the penalty area, and probably we can ring the bell, ding ding, end of round 1, and very much it belongs to Arsenal.
That's an understatement of the highest order. And back in, West Ham can't get out, and the only glimmer of getting out was a run by Bowen that was dealt with by Declan Rice.
Trossard, left of centre, plays the ball forward. He's found Jesus, who's got the better of Mavropanos, sent it back to Ødegaard, edge of the area, left side of the D, works it further wide out to Gabriel Martinelli. Ødegaard again allowed to play with it, and then plays it into Martinelli, whose cross is deflected behind the way for the first corner of the game. And it's an Arsenal corner, and that's no surprise.
No, they've really penned West Ham in here, and West Ham are not getting tight to anyone. There's a little bit of fear in their defensive work, And Arsenal are finding the spaces in between the lines that's causing a big problem.
Good start from Arsenal. 0-0 the score. That Arsenal attack is licking their lips. That West Ham defence looks like it's digging in for a long night. Corner to be taken far side. Trossard has placed it down in the quadrant. There are 5 to aim at in the centre. Saliba moves towards the near post. He's aiming towards him, but Sofao screened him. He managed to get the ball away. Kudus sends it further clear, but Saka rifles it back in again. Bowen tries to nudge it upfield. Paquetá beaten to it by Saliba. And the ball was turned over, then won back by West Ham. And Kudus now trying to get on it to keep West Ham in possession and try and keep Arsenal at arm's length for a moment or two. At this moment in time, that's proved very difficult. Arsenal missed out on the title last year, despite being on top for 248 days of last season. Arteta and his team have been using that disappointment all season to try and fuel this year's charge. And certainly they have been on a charge this year. Tonight, if they win, they go back on top after leading at Christmas. They might well lead at New Year, but they've got a bit of defending to do for the first time here, because Zinchenko has gone sliding in recklessly on Sofao, and he's given away a free kick in a dangerous position, especially if you've got James Ward-Prowse in your team.
I'll tell you what, if he's escaped a booking there, he's been very fortunate, because on another day with another referee, that could well have been red. You know, they throw the rulings out of control, in the air, feet up, all of those type of things. That ticked 1 or 2 of those boxes.
Well, James Ward-Prowse is placing down the ball just in from the touchline right side. There is no admonishment for the defender Zinchenko. And it's going to be a free kick which James Ward-Prowse will deliver. Puts it right into the 6-yard box. He takes a little deflection and eventually comes off a West Ham head and goes behind and out for a goal kick. But it was a dangerous delivery. And it's out for an Arsenal ball away to our left-hand side. David Moyes looking a little bit agitated down in front of us. Benrahma and Fornals still warming up away to our left-hand side. They're obviously concerned about Paquetá, aren't they?
Well, you're going to have to be, because most of Arsenal's good works come down this right-hand side for Arsenal, and Paquetá has not been back in slot to help out.
Saka, who gets down that right side again, exchanges passes with Ødegaard, then feeds Martinelli. His cross is deep. Jesus got a header in, but it couldn't direct it towards goal, so gave it to Trossard instead. He lays it back to the edge of the area. A step over, comes towards Rice. Didn't see Bowen coming behind him, and Bowen nabbed it away momentarily. Arsenal got it back again, midway inside the West Ham half. All West Ham players, almost in a 4-4-2 formation, right between the edge of the 18-yard box and about 12 yards further on from that. Sandwiched, concertinaed on the edge of the box. A blue blob protecting their goal, but Arsenal have got the ball. And Ødegaard trying to pick his way through, finds Martinelli, sets it back up for Trossard, who shoots on the run, fires it goalwards, misses the target, and it goes into the Arsenal fans away to our right. 0-0.
Yeah, that little interchange there, little slide balls and real composure to Arsenal's play. When you think someone's getting shut down, they got a real cool head about what they're doing. It's a little flick pass or slide pass beyond the West Ham back line, and they sustain attacks really well, Arsenal.
Brighton leading Tottenham by 2-0 over on TalkSport 2. And if you want to listen to that, you can listen to the second half coverage. It's on our app right now. Saka has it right side for Arsenal at 0-0 with 12 minutes gone at the Emirates. He's dancing towards the right, onto Trossard, pokes it to Ødegaard, and then there was a foul there apparently. Michael Oliver was closest to it, we'll trust him. And the Arsenal fans didn't see it. Trossard complains, and it looks like he just left a little bit on James Ward-Prowse. Still can't see that.
No, still not seeing it. Paquetá not getting back to help Emerson now. Emerson's got his hands full with Saka, and the person who is actually doing that work for him is Alvarez, getting across, sliding over and making it a 2-on-1, which is absolutely vital. But the problem with that is he's vacating that middle ground, so if they do play from this right-hand side for Arsenal into the central area, they might just play into an area where West Ham have lost their holding midfield player.
Paquetá out to the left, and James Ward-Prowse, who's motored on, so has Emerson. He careers into the left wing position for West Ham, and then it goes back to Paquetá, who's being marshalled by Ben White. White sticking to his task, forcing him back. Paquetá does well, turns, and fires it out to Emerson. Bowen goes on a motor through the centre, almost connected with it, and then the Arsenal defence did. It's smuggled in towards Souček, and he's put it home. And West Ham United have stolen the lead inside 13 minutes with their first attack of the game. The Emirates is stunned, the West Ham support go balmy, and after a brilliant start to the game from Arsenal, it's West Ham who take the lead, and Thomas Souček finishes off a brilliant move that was started by the only half-fit Lucas Paquetá down the left-hand side, finding Emerson. His ball was brilliant, just missed Bowen, was misfielded by the defence. It was back in by Bowen. Now, did he stray out of the pitch? Did the ball go out of play before he steered it back to Souček? Souček didn't know, so he just popped it home anyway. VAR will look at it, but West Ham think they've taken the lead.
Well, I've got to say, it's Paquetá that ended up was the catalyst to turning the ball over in midfield, keeping it. He's got the arrogance to stay on the ball for that extra second or so. And we're just looking at a replay whether Jarrod Bowen kept it alive. Well, difficult to tell. His body was covering the line of the camera, so it's impossible to tell by the cameras.
The problem here is it probably is out of play, but there is no clear evidence to be able to show you that.
Well, if that's the only camera view they've got, they're going to have a camera view from the other side of the pitch.
They can't chalk it off if that's the only view they've got, because you cannot see it because his body covers it.
Well, and I've got to say, Sam, if this goal does stand, it's probably been the most one-sided start to a game with the opposition actually scoring.
Okay, so look, we've got a still of it, and it looks like it's in play. Just about.
Indeed.
Just about. By a fraction.
Bowen has done brilliantly keeping that alive. He really has.
Yeah. They're still looking at it, and now they're suggesting it might not, but they can't see the ball there, but they can't see the whole of the white line either. So it's very difficult for them to rule the goal out based on that evidence, I think. So we've got a picture at the moment where we can't see the ball, we can only see Jarrod Bowen's body, but he's also obscuring part of the line. So for me, I don't think you can overrule that goal on the basis of that evidence, because you cannot see whether it's out or not. You can suspect it might be, but you don't know 100%, because you can't. Look how close it is, you can't tell.
I personally, Bowen's leg, just to make clarity to people listening, Bowen's right leg is obscuring the line of the ball. So we're seeing it from behind Jarrod Bowen, who's pulled the ball back into play. And credit to Kudus and Thomas Souček, they're alive at the front of goal.
Well, the referee is still waiting for instruction from the VAR, who is Craig Pawson, who spent a long time now looking at these images. They're still discussing it. Now we're getting a view from the other side, but it's not as clear. The angle is not going to give you a definitive. So it's very difficult, once again, for them to plot the exact coordinates of the ball. Now, if there's any doubt whatsoever as to whether or not they've got any evidence, they've given the goal, and they had to. There was not enough evidence to overturn it. There is a suspicion that it might have been out of play. If it was only marginal, by the way. It was very, very close, but there was certainly no clear evidence to overturn the initial decision.
Sam, it's fair to say we don't know whether the ball was in or out. We've got no idea, and as what you should do is carry on and give the goal if you can't rule it out.
Yep, and it is a goal, and West Ham do lead Thomas Souček with goal number 8 of the season. And Arsenal have got to come from behind Stuart Pearce after a brilliant start, which had 72% possession in the game up until that point.
I don't think that'll concern Arsenal, to be honest with you. They'll carry on doing their things. They've breached the back line on quite a few occasions, and we're just seeing another one evolving now.
Saka into Rice, back to Saka inside the area, dancing feet onto Trossard. Oh, it's not a great ball back, and now Kudus is accelerating down the right-hand side, trying to move over the halfway line, and then Zinchenko comes across and tidies up. It's how they react, isn't it? Because last year, you remember, a couple of times they got themselves into good positions, Arsenal, and then surrendered leads, and it really affected them towards the end of the season. They didn't have the mentality to see it out. If they're going to win the title this year, then these are the sort of situations that they've got to react to and come back from.
Yeah, Arsenal are a different proposition now and viewed in a different way by teams coming to play at Arsenal and playing at home to them. There's a newfound respect about how you take Arsenal on, and they're going to have to cope with that.
Indeed. So we played 18 minutes, but we certainly didn't play 18 minutes because I think we had about a 4-minute VAR check. Thomas Souček's goal separates these two teams, and it remains 1-0 to West Ham United. It's 2-0 to Brighton, and they're just about to start the second half down at the Annex. Mikel Arteta, who actually himself, I think, was stunned by the goal, turned round to the crowd here and tried to rev them up because they all just went silent, understandably so, because they couldn't quite believe it. So he turned and tried to orchestrate some sort of response from them after West Ham took the lead in the game.
I think the Arsenal fans got in a complacent mood because Arsenal was so dominant in the first 15 minutes then.
Well, a little bit of encouragement is that West Ham have already dropped 12 points from winning positions this season in the Premier League. And Arsenal will hold on to that. Here's Saka down the right-hand side, holding on to the ball by the touchline, taking on Emerson, who backpedals in the left fullback position towards the byline. He tries to squeeze through a tight gap. The referee says no foul. Ødegaard continues his run. He pulls it through the area. The ball looked like it went out of play on that occasion. And it goes out for a goal kick. That's the last thing that the linesman needs to get involved in, I think, there. Bearing in mind that they didn't see whether or not the ball went out of play at the other end. Should that have been a foul on Saka? It was sandwiched by Paquetá and Emerson.
The answer to the question is yes, it should have been, and it probably would have done if the ball hadn't gone to an Arsenal player beyond him that was inside the box and managed to get turned.
Yes,
so
I think
an advantage. It was a good advantage.
TalkSport live at the Emirates Stadium, a stunned Emirates Stadium, because West Ham have taken the lead after a bright Arsenal start. Arsenal actually just haven't found their rhythm again yet. They just look a little bit shell-shocked from that goal scored by Thomas Souček. It does mean it's going to be a very late half-time now as a result of that long VAR check. Ball cleared by Alphonse Areola, won by Trossard but picked up by Kudus once again, who's been incredibly useful. And Arsenal probably should have been a bit more wary about the attacking approach of the opponents tonight. 9 wins in 13 for West Ham United. This is a team that are in rock solid form right now. It's a record to be proud of, and one that started with victory against Arsenal in the League Cup at the London Stadium. Kudus and Bowen played in the Arsenal that night. Here is Paquetá into Kudus, trying to turn. He picks it up and plays it out to Bowen far side, and then on to Sofao. Into Souček, and then back to the halfway line where it's collected by Mavropanos. They've got a patched up defence this evening as well, West Ham. Souček onto Sofao. They're on the right side of the Arsenal penalty area. Back in field it goes, and Mavropanos finds Ogbono, who's captaining the team this evening. He plays it to Emerson, gets it back. Deep in midfield is Edson Alvarez, who's helping out his defence whenever he can, screening them. And Paquetá under pressure from Rice, trying to turn, but being marshalled by his former captain, gets it back to his current one. And then Ogbono sees it all the way back to Alphonse Areola. One win of the two back-to-back derby games that Arsenal are going to play will see them top the charts on New Year's Day. But Arsenal have had some big results already this season, even if they're not in great form, and West Ham are always a force to be reckoned with. And you're listening to Arsenal nil, West Ham 1 on TalkSport with Now. Don't forget that with Now, you can stream all the Premier League live content without a contract from £11.99, search Now Sports. Pressure from Bowen on Saliba, who's been an excellent acquisition. He's a really elegant defender, isn't he, Stuart?
Yeah, there's no doubt that the heart of their back line, Saliba and Gabriel, are a very good pairing in this division.
White, Rice, 1-0 to West Ham, approaching the midway point of the first half. Zinchenko's wandered in from left back, he's in the centre circle, now he's going to the other side of it, towards the right side and into West Ham territory. He plays it to White, and now stepping out is Declan Rice, looking for a bit of movement, and White provides that down the right, goes back to Rice. Again, West Ham so well drilled, they flex into that that shape where they look to plug every single possible gap. There seems to be so many of them. The ball goes wide. They switch to the other side, Arsenal. And Trossard goes on the attack, down the left side of the area. Looks to take on Sofao, pokes it back, gives it to Martinelli, edge of the area. Zinchenko now takes a couple of strides forward, then gives it to White. White holds on to it, plays it infield, and then Rice gives it to Ødegaard, who's a little bit deeper than he really should be because he needs to be the one that unlocks the door. Rice takes over, back to the right it goes. Now it's on to Saka. Saka infield, then on to White. White once more, and you're right, Edson Alvarez just watching Ødegaard, making sure he doesn't move into that position on that right-hand side as Arsenal look at it to try and attack and to penetrate, where they're a little bit weaker because Paquetá can't move as freely as he would usually do because of the fitness issue. Here is Saka to Jesus, who's 20 yards from goal, sweeps it wide, out to Trossard. Trossard trying to fashion a chance, but Kudus is there, pinches it, goes, and then gets robbed of the ball by Zinchenko, and then gives it back to Bowen. And Bowen now, careers over halfway, being chased by Gabriel, plays it against the Brazilian, goes out of play, and Zinchenko casual there, giving the ball back to West Ham when he'd already stopped a certain counter-attack.
Well, the big thing that West Ham have got in their favour, they've got Kudus and Bowen that have got legs, they've got counter-attack threat, and when they do get turned, if Arsenal are pushed on in numbers, which they have done on several occasions, they can hurt you.
Good cross by Sofao in towards the near post, and it's crushed out of the sky, taken on by David Raya, and Arsenal have it back again. There's a little bit of frustration creeping into the Arsenal support here. They trail by a goal to nil to West Ham. West Ham will go up into the European places should they win tonight, and they've had a very good run. David Moyes, I spoke to him after the game on Saturday, and he was very proud of that run too. They've topped their Europa League group as well, which means they get a little bit of a breather from European football now until March, because they go straight into the last 16 of the Europa League. Here on the left-hand side, the ball with Martinelli though. They've got some defending to do, West Ham here. Arsenal swing it into the box. It falls kindly for Ødegaard, but he couldn't get it under control. It's away by Mavropanos, but it was a little bit untidy from the Greek. Picked up by Ødegaard. Now Saka once again. He's engaged by Paquetá, and then Alvarez comes across and eats him up for breakfast. Fancied that challenge, didn't he?
It's like a tag team actually. Paquetá's very aggressive when he goes after people, and Alvarez went with him as well. And if you let the likes of Saka get turned, face you up, you're going to have a big problem. So when they turn their back to you, get as tight as you can, as quick as you can.
I have to say, after the first 11 minutes of this game, I thought they were in serious trouble, West Ham, but they've adjusted brilliantly to it, I think. Getting in front has helped, but Alvarez just spotted that they needed more help on this left-hand side, and he's taken the responsibility.
He's been outstanding, I've got to say, in regard to what he's done helping Emerson out, because Emerson in the first couple of minutes looked very fragile.
Zinchenko played the ball to Gabriel Jesus. He was fouled from behind by James Ward-Prowse, and a free kick is given to Arsenal about 4 steps back from the edge of the 18-yard box, wide on the left-hand side, and it's a chance to create something here in the 26th minute of the game. Rob Jones is the fourth official. David Moyes is suggesting it was an accident. James Ward-Prowse didn't do anything nasty there. It's not a free kick. I think it probably was. And he's gone back into his technical area. Kevin Nolan still arguing the case. Mikel Arteta looking a little bit pensive away to our left-hand side. Well, it's an interesting wall this that Alphonse Areola has constructed. I think it's a 3-man wall supported by another 2 men, one of which now James Ward-Prowse has gone onto the floor. Arsenal, who have scored more set pieces than anybody else. Their set piece coach Nicolas Jover has earned his corn this season, that's for sure, constructing those set pieces. David Moyes has just got out to line up with the ball. They've now taken a short free kick, and oh dear, I don't know who constructed that one, but it didn't come off, and Kudus has nabbed it and he's run it clear. Ødegaard trying to win it back, Arsenal trying to win it back. They eventually do that, but the opportunity to get the ball in the box has certainly gone, and what a wasted opportunity it was. Now they construct another attack down the right with Ødegaard flicking the ball into the area away by Ogbonna, and it comes back out as far as Rice. Rice out to the right. Saka takes it on, runs towards the edge of the area, left-footed curler, which doesn't have enough whip on it. And it did take a little deflection, goes out for a corner. And it's an Arsenal corner from the far side. Set-piece coach going to get credit for messing that one up, or is he going to blame the players for that, don't you?
Yeah, of course, you leave that one with the players. You know, you're throwing words like, well, we were trying to cultivate leadership by letting them make their own mind up.
Corner kick far side, Saliba back post, so is Gabriel. Rice actually stuck around the back too. At the near post, Martinelli just vying with Mavropanos. Jesus is free, it's in towards that near post, and it's flicked away by West Ham. It wasn't a brilliant delivery actually from Leandro Trossard, and Kudus wins the ball over on the far side. Earns a goal kick for West Ham, and the West Ham fans that have made the short journey from East London rather enjoyed that.
When you look at the West Ham ranks now, and I go back to my time, probably left this football club a year and a half ago, to have the likes of Baguetta in and Kudus that have got real arrogance on a football and can get on the ball and stay on the ball, it's so helpful to a team that are being sort of penned in for long periods of games.
Well, we're seeing another VAR angle of the ball out of play, and it is just inconclusive, I'm afraid. My suspicion would be it might be, but I don't know and I can't tell that from those pictures, and that must be the VAR's verdict. He cannot rule that goal out on the evidence that was provided to him at the time. 29 minutes gone. It is Arsenal 0, West Ham United 1. They lead through that Thomas Souček goal. And for the latest odds, you can head to Ladbrokes, where right now you can get Arsenal to win at 11-8 on, 5-2 the draw, 18-5 West Ham. That's all thanks to Ladbrokes, 18+ BigGambleAware.org. This is TalkSport. Saliba to the right, and left by Paquetá, and it's out and away for a throw-in to West Ham United. And you do just wonder whether or not Arsenal just have run into a bit of a wall over the last 15 minutes since that goal was scored. Saka trying to open up this stubborn back line. Plays it into Ødegaard. Martinelli to Trossard to Jesus. Right side. Meanders into the box. Looks for Saka with a header, and he's steered away brilliantly by Areola.
A big left hand comes up and pushes the ball round the post.
It's an excellent header that from Saka. Flicked up into the air. He squeezed in front of Souček, and he nudged the ball towards goal, and then the big left hand came out from the
header there by Saka. Souček's leg was up, probably way over his head height, and Saka just in behind him guided it really well, and Areola just guided it over the crossbar.
Saka's delivery into the near post. It's flicked away by the West Ham defence. Goes back out wide to the right. Ødegaard, Saka, and then back into Saliba. He tries to help it forward and then gave it to Paquetá. He brings it clear, weaves away from Ødegaard, and moves up the pitch and then kicks the ball out of play, and he's hurt himself and he's gone down. And that is going to be the end of his night, I think. 30 minutes gone, and Arsenal not happy, furious in fact. So Arteta has called all of his players over for a timeout so we can give them a bit of a briefing. So we'll go off down to the Amex Stadium and find out how the second half has started with TalkSport.
È quel periodo dell'anno, periodo nel quale iniziamo.
Behind thanks to Inchwood and a João Pedro penalty in the first half. It's on TalkSport 2 this one. It's Brighton 2, Spurs 0.
They're warming up a substitute, getting a substitute change. It looks like it might be Saïd Benrahma who's going to come on to replace Paquetá.
Well, he's got two choices here, Dave, and trying to read his mind, he'll be thinking, I could put Benrahma on, who's got the ability to go past people and take us up the pitch, akin to Baguetta, or I could go with Fornells that alternatively is probably more dogmatic in his defensive work. And that'll be, well, I think Baguetta's race is run, I think. He's walked off.
I'm surprised he started his race, to be honest. But he did provide a telling moment in the game. Oh no, hold on. He's just gone to sit down on the bench and then they've dragged him back on.
Yeah, they've dragged him back on because they want him to go back on to break the game again to make sure Benrahma's.
But he can't go on for 30 seconds. But if they make the substitution can come on straight away. Yeah. So it's better to make the substitution.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. and he's come off again.
Let's get Ben Rama on, whose last goal for West Ham United was in the conference final. He scored the penalty in the conference final, Saeed Ben Rama. He's on to replace Paquetá, who lasted just 32 minutes but made a contribution to the start of the move that led to West Ham's goal, the goal that separates us here at the Emirates Stadium on this wet and windy night in North London. I came up through Arsenal, the station Arsenal, which used to be Gillespie Road, tonight, walking across the bridge and round the stadium, and it was wet and windy. All the coats were on, the hats were on, and everyone wrapped up nice and warm for what they hoped was a sizzling performance from Arsenal, most of them. But it's West Ham who have taken the lead, despite the fact that Arsenal have dominated possession and had a couple of good chances in the game, but only one real save from Alphonse Areola. Referees said play on, even though he should have stopped the game because it hit him. Jesus takes the ball towards the edge of the area and picked up by Trossard and comes out to the near side. Collected by Ødegaard, space out wide for White. White with a chance to cross now. He does. It's steered into the air by Emerson. It's out for a corner.
Yeah, we've just seen the difference that the substitutes have made. Ball's come to Ben Rama on the edge of the box on the turnover, and he's gives the ball away cheaply. Paquetá, on the other hand, would have probably got West Ham up the pitch a little bit further.
Saka to take the corner from the near side. Needs to be a better delivery than what we've seen so far from these set pieces of Arsenal. Saka will touch it short to Ødegaard. He runs towards the goal and then plays it to the edge of the area. Then Zinchenko changes the angle, flicks it in towards White. White rose but couldn't get a header on the ball. He just flicked the top of his follicles and went behind and away for a goal kick out to our right-hand side. It was a really delicious delivery, an arcing one, left-footed in towards the edge of the 6-yard box by Zinchenko.
I'll tell you what, Arsenal done really well. Great setup, great delivery to Zinchenko. His left foot has opened up the goal, and he's done everything right, apart from making sure that the ball ends up in the far corner of the net if nobody touches it. Just set it out too far wide.
Well, it's West Ham United who lead here, and there's some VAR action down at the Amex Stadium, but nothing too significant, I don't think. And it remains 2-0 to Brighton in that game, live over on TalkSport 2. Tomorrow night, Championship action, starting with Southampton Plymouth on TalkSport 2 at 6. Leeds in action straight after that. It's a full EFL programme with Adrian Durham tomorrow night, including commentary for that second game on TalkSport. It's a lively old EFL weekend, Friday night and New Year's Day as well. Full programme on New Year's Day. Saturday, we've got Luton against Chelsea, kicks off at the tee. Manchester City in action at 3 o'clock on TalkSport 2. And then on Monday night, New Year's Day, we start the new year with a bang. Liverpool against Newcastle United, live and only on TalkSport. Kicks off at 8 o'clock. Stuart and I will be there.
They keep coming, these games, my friend, don't they?
They do, mate. Absolutely. And why not as well? This is what we like. Here is Declan Rice. To his left is Zinchenko, who nudges it out towards the far side, and then in it goes, where it's picked up by Jesus, releases Ødegaard into the area, right side of the D, then into Saka, back into towards Jesus. He felt he was fouled. Martinelli with a shot, and it goes out and away for a goal kick. Jesus is still complaining that he was fouled in the build-up to that effort. Michael Oliver is holding and waiting instruction from Craig Pawson. And it could be a big moment in the game, this. It was a really well-constructed move, and Jesus was at the heart of it, laying it off first of all to Ødegaard, back out to Saka wide right. In it went to Jesus. I don't think that's a penalty. Do you?
No, I don't. I think Souček slid across to block the shot. The shot wasn't forthcoming. Jesus has jumped over the ball when the pair of them have ended up tumbling on the floor, so not for me.
No, and nor did Craig Pawson or Michael Oliver, and as a result it remains 1-0 to West Ham United with just over 8 minutes to play in the first half, plus stoppage time, of which there will be at least 5 minutes, because the lengthy VAR delay to try and find the ball. He played a bit of spot the ball, and Jared Bowen trying to pull it back from what looked like beyond the dead ball line. That is the goal that that separates these two teams. And Ogbonna has it deep inside his own half, up to Ben Rama. One of Ben Rama's issues, I think, sometimes is that he doesn't hold on to the ball as much as some of these other more technically skilled players.
Sammy's had the ball twice now, and twice he's given it away since he's come on. That one, he was driven into him by Ogbonna, but you've got to cushion that and sit on the ball and get your teammates up with you.
Yeah, it sort of bounced off him as if his feet were made of concrete for a second now. Ball goes out towards the far side. Back in it goes. Whatever happens with Ben Rama, and there are rumours that they're going to move him on in the January transfer window, he'll always be the man that scored in a European final win for West Ham United. He has been a good servant for the club. Here is Saka into White and then back into Rice. Rice tries to turn under pressure from James Ward-Prowse, and then it goes back to halfway. And now it's with Saliba. Saliba moves forward, looks up, touches it to his right. Arsenal a little bit regressive now. There's no one in front of Ben White. He's the furthest man forward at this moment in time on the right side of the Arsenal attack. Now they look to go on the hunt for a long ball played over the top, but then they had to reset because it wasn't forthcoming. Zinchenko in the middle of the West Ham half takes it wide to the right, and then it goes back out to Ødegaard. Ødegaard, he's had a lot of touch to the ball but hasn't constructed a proper chance yet. Sends it in towards Trossard. Zinchenko back to Trossard, edge of the box. Kudus sticks a foot out. Jesus trying to win it. He turns it over. James Ward-Prowse digging in. Souček manages to nudge it clear, and Kudus is on the escape. Saka comes across, cuts him off, and a free kick is given against the England man, and the Arsenal fans aren't happy about it.
Well, I'm not sure what the Arsenal fans are not happy about. I think they're fortunate that Saka didn't get pulled up and booked for stopping a counter-attack there. Jesus has gone down cheaply on the edge of the box. For me, no.
We've had some communique from the PGMOL giving us the official reasons why the goal was not given. And it was the non-conclusive evidence.
Well, I'm glad they've cleared it up for us, because we'd never have guessed that ourselves, would we?
Goal at Brighton, Ian Abrahams.
Brighton 3, Spurs 0. What a hit from Pervis Estupiñán on at half-time of the sub, returning after injury. He's fully 25 yards out, and he smashed it into the top corner net beyond Vicario. It's a stunning goal. It's Brighton 3, Spurs 0. It's on TalkSport 2, and it's game over.
I love the fact that he went up to the camera, screamed into it, I'm back, after a screaming goal from Pervis Estupiñán. Doesn't really do tap-ins. 64 minutes there. It's 3-0 to Brighton. Here on the right side, it's Declan Rice taking the ball to the right touchline. He sends it back across into the box. Saka retrieves it, gets it back from Ødegaard. Oh, it wasn't a perfect pass, and there was Edson Alvarez to get it clear. Arsenal putting pressure on with 5 minutes to go. That goal was an absolute stunner from Estupiñán. It really was. We've had the ability to see it from behind the goal, and Vicario stretched every sinew and couldn't reach it. His big right arm went up, but he couldn't get there. Ball out wide to the left. Martinelli tries to send it through the centre. He took a little deflection, which helped it through the box, and it's gobbled up by the goalkeeper. Arsenal 0, West Ham 1 on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has vans of all shapes and sizes, so if you've got a plan, they've got a van.
As I say, West Ham have, after that first 15 minutes punctuated by the goal, they've stemmed the flow slightly, but they've just got to make sure everyone keeps doing their jobs, because Arsenal ask brilliant questions of you.
Yeah, here they come again. Ødegaard into Saka, in behind the defence, right footing hits the post, comes back out, and it couldn't be snaffled up by Leandro Trossard, who was charging into the box. It was a brilliant chance for Saka, who beat the goalkeeper at his near post. It was only that post that stopped it from being an equaliser, threaded in by Ødegaard. It was such a tight angle, but it was hit with real venom by the England man, and it bounced off the post at a rapid speed, and Trossard, well, he just couldn't adjust his body in time to turn in the rebound.
No, the pace of it, I'm looking at the replay, I'm thinking Areola's not got his angle spot on there, enabling the ball to go in between him and the post. And as I say, the sheer pace of the ball coming back off the post caught Trossard out. He's done well to get anything on it.
West Ham have had 26% possession in the game, and they lead by a goal to nil. Arsenal, for all of their possession and all of their good play actually in their build-up to the edge of the area, have not been able to breach Alphonse Areola. They've been a little bit unlucky. Saka's had 2 good chances really. He's hit the post and he had one saved by the French goalkeeper. Foul given. Emerson was nudged to the floor. The referee and Arsenal were prepared to break away. Saka penalised. Gives the free kick in West Ham's favour as we approach the last 2 minutes of the first half. And what will Mikel Arteta be saying at half-time, do you think, to his Arsenal team?
Well, I think moving the ball from side to side is the one thing that could catch West Ham out. Once they're back in...
Kudus from distance drives the ball goalwards, hits the Arsenal defence, goes behind and away, and it's out for a corner to West Ham.
Once they're back in slot, West Ham, and everyone doing their jobs, it's very difficult to find space, and they've got to move it from left to right and vice versa. Try and get a one-on-one. At the moment, they found it difficult, certainly the longer the half's gone on, to get Saka one-on-one. Once you get him and Martinelli one-on-one, they've got a real chance of breaching the back line.
Paquetá has been replaced already in the game because of an injury that he picked up in the warm-up, but then played 30 minutes, helped construct the goal, and limped off. So Benrahma is on. West Ham are taking their time over this set piece. Martinelli's complaining. Bowen has run away. James Ward-Prowse delivers into the near post, flicked into the air, comes back to Benrahma, who is waiting to toss it back in. He does that. There's a collision where Bowen goes to ground. He's the one that's penalised. Free kick given. It's Arsenal's ball. 1-0 to West Ham United. Well, West Ham have weapons. They can trouble Arsenal, there's no doubt about that. Especially on the counter-attack. Bowen might well end up moving out to that right-hand side at some point in the game, and that will cause Zinchenko problems if he vacates it. And let's be clear, Kudus running power is something to behold. And although they don't have Paquetá, there are still set-piece options with James Ward-Prowse. Here's Trossard into the box at the other end. A deflected cross goes into the arms of the goalkeeper. Yeah, they've now scored in 9 of their last 10 away games, West Ham United. And they're always happy to let you have the ball. You know, they don't mind not having possession of it. 41.3% is their average over the course of the season. It's always them who are in the minority in terms of how often they have the ball. Today is no different, but they are in the lead, as they have been more often than not recently. They're heading for a 10th win in 14 games. Ødegaard to Zinchenko, almost gave it straight back to Jarrod Bowen.
Yeah, he certainly did. He just bumps it straight back, and it's an ill of the game at the moment. Ball up to somebody in midfield, and they don't even look to get to, and they bump it straight back where it's come from, and that isn't always the right thing to do.
He's had a tricky couple of weeks at Oleg Zinchenko, and he's coming into sharper and sharper focus amongst the Arsenal supporters, I think. 5 minutes has been allotted as the extra stoppage time that we will play at the end of the first half. Most of it attributed to that VAR check. Ødegaard trying to roll his studs over the ball and take on Mavropanos, who pinched the ball and then ran up towards halfway. Looked a little bit lost as he got up towards the halfway line. Gave it to Benrahma, and in turn West Ham get it all the way back to their goalkeeper. Mavropanos still caught upfield. He's been in the air by Declan Rice, who heads it forward, but there's no one in red to grab it. And Alphonse Areola has it once again. David Moyes will be pretty satisfied, I think, with the opening 46 minutes that he's seen.
Well, I think he will be if they get in 1-0 up. I think it's a big few minutes for West Ham to keep a clean sheet going in at half-time. And I think the key to them is trying to keep frustrating Arsenal, keep outworking them if possible. But they know full well there's going to be an onslaught in the second half.
Yep, and they've lost Lucas Paquetá, and he is sitting on the bench with ice packs. Here is Bowen down the right side, trying to latch onto a Kudus pass after a good run from the former Ajax man. And it's out of play. Yeah, he's got his knee strapped up, and the ice is on the back of the knee, and it's strapped round just below that area. Just wonder how significant that injury could be, and West Ham will hope it's not that significant.
Well, they certainly won't, because he's one of their leading players, there's no doubt about that. Once again, Kudus getting the ball. I tell you what, he is a handful, isn't he, for any fullback?
He's brilliant. What an acquisition he has been. I think they've spent the Declan Rice money so sensibly. You know, they've lavished it on Ward-Prowse, Kudus and Alvarez, and every one of them's been a hit so far. 48 minutes gone. Ben White towards the right-hand side. Saka to take the ball on. He's got 3 to beat before he can find another Arsenal jersey. He goes backwards to White, who gave it away, and Ben Rama has then funneled it into Bowen, and there's a chance of a late counter-attack. We're into the 48th minute of the first half. Ben Rama's ball for Ward-Prowse to chase will be tidied up by Declan Rice. David Raya will then play it out to Saliba, and Arsenal will look to try and find a way to create one last opportunity at the end of a first half in which they've dominated the ball but find themselves behind. Ødegaard swings the ball from the centre circle wide to the Arsenal left. Zinchenko picks it up. Then it comes infield to Gabriel. He hesitates, plays it back to Zinchenko. Sofal goes to engage, then backs off. Allows him to play it infield to Gabriel. Saliba then strides forward, plays it into Ødegaard, back to goal. He tries a little trick to feed Jesus, then takes the ball forward, goes down under a challenge from Ogbonna. The referee says play on. Jesus has got it. There's space out wide for Zinchenko if they can squeeze it to him. They didn't, and then Martinelli handled, and the free kick has been given in West Ham's favour, and they may well get over the line here to half-time.
Yeah, that was a hell of a tackle by Ogbonna. As soon as the Arsenal players get in the box, you've got to be so mindful. And it was Ødegaard, a little brilliant piece of skill there, and he's got into bodies. And as a defender, you know any trailing leg of player is going to go down very cheaply, but a good tackle there.
You know that Arsenal usually thrive here. Wrapped up and whipped up by North London forever. The Ashburton Army, they've taken 23 points from a possible 27 here this season. They have scored at least twice in 9 of their last 10 at home. They're a positive team, they're a front foot team, but they haven't yet found a goal in the opening half of football at the Emirates tonight. Rice charging into opposition territory. 49 minutes, 25 seconds on the clock as it's flicked round the corner by Jesus, almost to Trossard. Again, diligent defending by West Ham, just about getting it away. Alphonse Areola clears into the evening sky. It drops onto the head of Souček. He heads it clear. It's his goal that defines the game at the moment. But Trossard has got some space and he shoots and cracks it into Ogbonna. And it lollops into the air and bounces out on the far side away for a throw. Gabriel into Martinelli, across goes Kudus. Excellent work by him again. Runs into his own penalty area and provides a brilliant ball to Bowen. Bowen then releases it down the middle, looking for the run of Bowen for Ben Rama. He's not going to reach it. The half-time whistle goes, and it's West Ham who lead. West Ham are in top form, by the way. 3 wins in 4 before today, and they are now threatening to derail Arsenal's designs on top spot. They would like to be there at the end of the weekend, but at the moment they're providing stiff opposition, West Ham. Arsenal have got to come from behind to beat them. There is a warning in the offing though. West Ham have conceded 21 second half goals this season. Only Luton and Sheffield United have conceded more. At the break, Arsenal 0, West Ham 1.
Well, it was all Arsenal, so incredibly one-sided that you wonder if the towel might come in. What it didn't have was a knockout blow. With their backs against the walls, it was West Ham who delivered it. We'll dissect that first half with Stuart Pearce in a moment. Before then, let's head to the Amex. Lots of activity there in Abrahams.
Quarter of an hour to go. Brighton 3, Spurs 0, but Brighton have been awarded a second penalty. VAR has just checked it. It was Giovanni Lo Celso into the back of Evan Ferguson, and the decision of penalty has been given. No offside, so João Pedro has the ball on the spot. He scored a penalty in the first half, sending Vicario the wrong way. And what's he going to do now? He takes 3 steps back. He's up against Vicario for the second time tonight from 12 yards out. João Pedro again starts a stuttering run up, and again, it's exactly the same. He sits the goalkeeper down, and he passes it almost into the corner, and that this time it's into the bottom left-hand corner as Vicario went the other way, and Brighton have absolutely routed Spurs here. In the second half, we've seen a goal of the season contender from Estepinian on his return to the team. Pedro in the first half, and and Hinshelwood with the other goals for Brighton. He also had a post through James Milner. Yes, Richarlison had 2 goals, rightly cancelled out for offside for Spurs. They've been second best here, Hugh, by some distance. And I think Ange Postecoglou can't wait for the last 15 minutes to end. You can hear those last 15 minutes and any more Brighton goals on TalkSport 2. But it's Brighton 4, Tottenham Hotspur 0.
It's going to be really interesting to hear what the fans have to say a little bit later on the sports bar. Jason Cundy and Jermaine Pennant will be with you this evening. The number to call, as always, 03717 223344. Absolute domination at the Amex in terms of the play and the scoreline. Domination for Arsenal here at the Emirates, but they're behind 1-0 against West Ham United. They've had 73% possession, 9 attempts on goal to West Ham's 3, and yet it is that goal from Thomas Souček that's the difference. And Stuart Pearce, really, despite losing Lucas Paqueta to injury in that first half, he was heavily involved in that West Ham goal. They went in front with their first attack of any note. A cross came in from Emerson. It was missed by, you've got to say, an unmarked Bowen. Calamity defending by Gabriel and Zinchenko meant the ball ricocheted back to Bowen, who prodded it back into the middle of the goal for Souček to fire home. Arsenal could have done a lot better with that.
Yeah, they could have done. Runners in the box weren't tracked, basically, namely Bowen especially. And West Ham done well to keep it alive. Bowen did. Paqueta done well in the build-up. And Souček and Kudus were in and around the 6-yard box, and Souček finished off. They hadn't had a sniff of the ball before then, let's be honest, 15 minutes in, Arsenal were just waiting to score a goal. And it's give West Ham something to hang on to. I've got to say, I think Alvarez has been magnificent in regard to his positional play, his game understanding, and sliding across to help out Emerson against Saka.
That's the goal, and I know a lot of people will say VAR is going to be a big talking point in the morning. Maybe it will be, but you have to say you just couldn't tell if the entirety of the ball was off the pitch. It was inconclusive. We've had that advice from the Premier League. They say the goal was given on field. No conclusive evidence that showed the ball was out of play. Therefore, VAR sticks with the on-field decision. That was only sensible and, to be honest, obvious.
Yeah, exactly that. You can't go down a guesswork route and chalk off a goal. If anything, football wants more goals in it. So you've got to go with the referee's decision. He called it on the pitch, and stick with that.
After that, it had been all Arsenal. Like I said, they were probing, short pass in play, technically, tactically, lovely to watch. The closest they came in that first half was Saka smashing the base of the post. What did you make of that Arsenal attack? I know you mentioned Alvarez and the important work that he was doing. What about that front three? Trossard came in for Havertz. Yeah, okay, he's playing in midfield. Haven't seen much of Martinelli. Saka's been on the ball so much, linking up with Ødegaard. Jesus, rather silent. What do you make of that forward line?
Well, I think they've looked more penetrating on this side right in front of us, on Saka's side, if you like. They've got Saka, Ødegaard, and Ben White coming up to support it. I don't know whether Ben White needs to go past Saka on occasion and Saka come off his perch just to mix things up a little bit. It's the movement of that front line that's going to end up, if West Ham are going to get breached, that's what's going to do it. At this moment in time, West Ham have got blocks in. The run of the ball was bounced and skidded off someone and gone to a West Ham defender or Areola. So they've worked hard. You make your own luck, but it's fallen their way. But they know full well the second half's going to be an onslaught from Arsenal, chasing this equaliser. And they'll see a point, probably a poor result, Hugh, to be honest with you. They'd have looked at this game and thought, with our record against West Ham, it's 3 points for us tonight.
Long way still to go. Wonder what the two managers are saying at the break. David Moyes will certainly be the happier. You just wonder if his side can last the full 90 with this approach. Going to be really interesting to see how they adapt things after the break. Let's get the halftime odds on TalkSport with Ladbrokes.
Odds update on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Well, for Arsenal to come back and win this game, it's now 11-10. The draw 15-8. West Ham to go on and win this a full 27-10. Given they already have a 1-goal lead, pretty decent odds. That was the latest with Ladbrokes. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Odds update on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
You're listening to Kickoff on TalkSport with Now. Don't forget, with Now, you can stream all the Premier League action live without a contract from £11.99. Just search Now Sports. As it stands, West Ham heading into the top 6 of the Premier League. Arsenal will be missing out on top spot at the end of the year. But really, you just cannot predict anything in the Premier League right now. A big 45 minutes on the way. In a few moments' time, we'll be back. But let's quickly head back to the Amex, because there's been another goal for Ian Abrahams.
Yeah, Brighton 4, Spurs 1. It may only just be a consolation for Spurs. We're just to wait to see whether or not VAR might get involved. I don't think they will. Hummels squared the ball really nicely, and Spurs have managed to get themselves at least a consolation goal. It's come through Alejandro Veltez, but I have to say that it's probably too little too late. They've also got Dejan Kulusevski down, injured Tottenham, who was injured in the build-up to the goal, but it looks like it's only going to be a consolation. A lot of Spurs fans, I have to say, Hugh, had already left the ground long before that goal went in. The last 10 minutes, live on TalkSport 2, Tottenham have a consolation. It's Brighton 4, Spurs 1.
Could be the miracle comeback, to be honest. I got worried the moment Ian Abrahams said game over. Whenever he predicts that, there's usually a big comeback. You can head over to TalkSport 2 right now to see if Spurs can accomplish that. It would be quite a miracle with 10 minutes left on the clock. Back here wouldn't be so big for Arsenal. They played fantastically well, but they trail West Ham by a 0-0. We'll have the second half straight after this.
Kickoff on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18+ BeGambleAware.org.
Your attention, please. We interrupt your programming with an announcement of garlic bread gargantuan importance from one of Bolton's funniest comedians, Peter Kay. TV big adventures on the small screen. Get the brand new autobiography, out now in hardback and audiobook.
It's great if you like laughing.
Kickoff on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18+ BeGambleAware.org.
Y'all ready for something new? Just eat. Oh, you thought it was just burgers and fries? They got more flavors than you tasted or you heard in your life.
We all fantasize about our perfect home, watching the big game cozied up in the snug. Balmy summer nights with the kids playing on the lawn.
We're playing real-life football!
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of June 2022 and 30th of September 2022 is under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
Hope there won't be any VAR delays today. Heard that rumour about their striker.
Can't wait to see what the pundits make of that booking.
Looking forward to the match report on this one.
When it comes to football, never miss a story. Get the best news, opinion, interviews and gossip at thesun.co.uk. For the football lowdown every day, it's thesun.co.uk.
Paddington is back in McDonald's Happy Meal. Join him in discovering all the fun of the festive season, like ice skating, pulling crackers, singing songs, and even playing games. But the best thing is, everyone can enjoy the magic with Paddington and Happy Meal. Have a very berry Christmas with Paddington. Some fun, some food, it's all inside this Happy Meal. Until 3rd of January from 11 a.m. Includes one pre-selected book or toy while stocks last. See mcdonalds.co.uk/Happy Meal for detail.
Get set for the year ahead with a Screwfix winter sale. It's on now and packed with savings on trade essentials. From unmissable low prices on power tools, storage and landscaping, to must-have deals on hand tools and workwear. It's all in the Screwfix winter sale. Shop now on the app at screwfix.com or in-store. Don't miss out. End 7th of January. Screwfix, the choice of champions. While stocks last, visit screwfix.com for delivery charges and restrictions.
Ah, that'll be my Amazon delivery.
Beautiful football!
This
festive season. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Amazon delivers the Premier League live tonight from 7. Brighton v Spurs and Arsenal v West Ham. Only on Prime.
There will be 14 minutes of extra time.
With Betfair's 90-minute payout, you don't have to wait for the final whistle to celebrate, because your winning bet will be paid out in full at 90 minutes.
Betfair. Applies to match odds 90 market or markets with a 90 icon. Sportsbook exclusive. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Kick-off on Talk Sport.
With Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has vans of all shapes and sizes. So if you've got a plan, we've got a van.
When the manager's side fails to impress and the entire squad lacks flair and finesse, when the heat is on and he feels the stress, he must splash the cash to ensure success.
Summer transfer window was a record-smashing spendfest, with teams in the Premier League splashing out over £2.3 billion. On January 1st, the transfer window swings wide open once more.
Would you believe it?
TalkSport is the place to get the latest transfer news first. Get uncompromising analysis and instant reaction to all the deals as they're done. Plus, full details of all the latest signings at TalkSport.com. The January transfer window on TalkSport and TalkSport 2.
Well, Arsenal have probed West Ham without really putting them to the sword in that first half. They were sucker punched through Thomas Souček's 8th goal of the season. At the break, Arsenal 0, West Ham 1. A big 45 minutes on the way, and maybe some tense final minutes at the Amex over on TalkSport 2. There's been another goal. Ian Abrahams.
4 minutes to go. It's Brighton 4, Spurs 2. Giovanni Lo Celso's cross from the left-hand side, headed in by Ben Davis for close range. And we've checked to see whether his fingernails were offside. They weren't. So Spurs have scored twice now inside 5 minutes. The fans that are left early might want to try and get back in. The last 5 minutes from TalkSport 2. Game over. Brighton 4, Spurs 2.
Ian, thank you very much. Just a reminder, there will be coverage of the World Darts Championship over on TalkSport 2 after Brighton against Spurs. Let's get the latest though from Alexandra Palace with Sean Price.
A huge upset already here tonight as the 5th seed and 2021 world champion Gerwin the Iceman Price has been knocked out by the 28th seed Brendan Dolan in the third round. It was a brilliant tussle on the Oche, which Brendan Dolan won by 4 sets to 2 to book his place in the last 16. Currently on the Oche, the second match of the evening, the recent 3-time major winner Korhan Luke Humphreys against Germany's Ricardo Pietreczko on his debut here. And the third seed Humphreys is a bit under pressure as Pietreczko has just won the second set to level the match at 1 set apiece in a race to 4. But still to come, Ricky Rapid Evans, who knocked out 5th seed Nathan Aspinall in the last round, takes on Northern Ireland's Daryl Gurney. And as you said, you can listen to live commentary after the football over on TalkSport 2.
Sean, thank you very much. West Ham United's players already out back on the pitch at the Emirates. Stuart Pearce, what do you think the approach will be in this second half as Arsenal's players now join us? Is it going to be backs against the wall? Are they going to be trying to show a little bit endeavour to get that second goal?
Yeah, I think Arsenal might just have to mix their play up a little bit. You know, it's been very concise and clever around the box. They've been unfortunate not to get in from some good blocks from West Ham, but they've probably just got to move that ball quickly enough to probably isolate individuals one-on-one. From West Ham's point of view, they've got to defend in numbers, defend stoutly, and not one player can afford to switch off, because if they get isolated one-on-one, Arsenal will punish you.
Well, the Arsenal players in a huddle, West Ham's players spread out in formation as Martin Ødegaard, the Arsenal captain, gives his teammates a few final words before this second half. As it stands, Arsenal missing out on a place at the top spot in the Premier League at New Year, while West Ham United will be moving into the top 6. But you get the feeling there'll be goals in the second half, here live and exclusively on TalkSport with the former England World Cup defender Stuart Pearce and our very own Sam Matterface.
Well, the West Ham boss, David Moyes, has never won at Arsenal. This is his 23rd visit. He's lost 18 of them. And this part of North London was the scene of his heaviest ever defeat with Everton, 7-0 in May 2005. And he
knows that it will take Harry Redknapp's unwanted record the next time that he loses. That unwanted record of 239 Premier League defeats, if and when that happens. Although it's some achievement just to have been around long enough to amass that quantity of defeats. It just shows how long he's been a Premier League manager. The third most games as a Premier League manager. He is on the verge, though, of something incredibly special, beating Arsenal here. Doesn't happen very often for West Ham, but Arsenal are on the attack at the start of the first few minutes of the second half. Declan Rice has just played the ball out towards the near touchline. It took a deflection, goes out for a throw-in. There are 9 minutes to be added down at the Amex Stadium. And you do always have a little bit of a panic when the Moose says to you, game over, and then 2 goals are scored by the opponents straight afterwards. I bet the Moose is sweating now because there's 9 minutes and Tottenham are well back in that game at the Amex Stadium, which is live on TalkSport 2.
I don't want to worry you, but the Moose sweats on a daily basis, my friend, you know. I know it's a sobering thought, Izzy, isn't it?
We all sweat on a daily basis.
Yeah, not in -2 degrees, you know. Come on now. I'm still smarting from when he threw a milkshake over me in Brazil in 2014, to be quite honest with you. I've not let that go yet.
Well, he's let it go, but he...
yeah, exactly.
He's a little bit furious about the fact that he wasted some milkshake.
Well, he did start sucking on my jumper afterwards to retrieve it.
I wonder what was coming next.
Yeah, exactly. I thought you might.
Let me go through the two teams and try and restore a bit of decorum. David Raya is the Arsenal goalkeeper. Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko are the back four. It's Ødegaard, Rice and Trossard in midfield with Saka, Jesus and Martinelli up top. Ariana is the West Ham United goalkeeper. Sofao, Mavropanos, Ogbonna and Emerson the back four. It's then Alvarez and Souček in midfield with the substitute Benrahma on the left, Kudus on the right, Ward-Prowse in the centre behind Jared Bowen. And over on the far side, Arsenal are coming forward. They've been repelled by Benrahma, but they've got the ball back, and Ødegaard on the right edge of the area has fed it down the right side for Ben White. It's tough behind by Alvarez. He's out for a corner the first of the second half to the home team.
I know during the games, Dave quite likes moving Jared from that centre-forward role to out on a whip, but to enable to do that, he needs Paqueta to run the front position, and I'm afraid they haven't got him, so that will be a major blow to him.
Let's see what happens in this second half as the rain comes teeming down at the Emirates Stadium, and boy is it coming down now. Corner kick far side, and it's drifted straight to the edge of the area, and there's a challenge right on the edge of the box by Kudus as Trossard goes to take the shot. Free kick isn't given, it goes over the bar, it's out for a goal kick. I don't really think that Leandro Trossard went in with enough conviction there. Kudus just wanted it a little bit more.
Well, in all honesty, I don't think you could, because when the ball's coming towards you and in your eye line you've got someone to shut it down, if you go with a full swing, you get your leg broken. That's the bottom line. Yeah. And he's ended up, I think he's hurt his wrist more than anything.
Wrist is the problem, yeah.
He's had to sort of have a short backswing, if you like, and a short follow-through, otherwise you can obviously seriously damage yourself, let alone the opposition.
He's getting back to his feet slowly but surely, being held by Gabriel Jesus. Gingerly moves away. A monsoon-like rain starts pouring from the sky. You wouldn't want to be in the first few rows of the stand, that is for sure.
In fact, the two individuals that I gun with, a couple of friends of mine, are actually sat in row 2 in front of us, so they'll be a bit damp in the car on the way home.
Heat is on, mate, heat is on. Here is Kudus right side into Sofao, tries to nudge it down the right, and it's smuggled out by Zinchenko, and he's been told to go back by Michael Oliver after stealing a couple of yards. 5 minutes gone second half, 1-0 to West Ham. And Mikel Arteta celebrated 4 years as the Gunners' boss on Boxing Day. Only Bukayo Saka from the first match with Bournemouth started today. The evolution of the team and the club in that time has been incredibly impressive. I don't think there'll be too many people that suggested when he walked through the door that within 4 years they'd be challenging twice for the title. And that is the truth of it. Here's Ødegaard into Ben White, delivers a ball deep towards the far post. Souček with a header away. Headed
forward by Saliba. Drops on the left side of the area for Martinelli, who scoops it back into goal. And it's over the top of Jesus' head and swirls wide and out. And away for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. It's 1-0 here, 4-2 to Brighton down at the Amex Stadium. And Tottenham had a corner. And they're on the attack, trying to get another goal to put pressure on Brighton at the end of the game. It's available to you on Talk Sport 2. Saliba. A few of the Arsenal supporters getting a little bit frustrated at the end of the first half, trying to encourage them now to drive forward from defence. Saliba and Jesus, who's dropped very deep to come and receive the ball, onto the edge of the centre circle, back to Zinchenko, out wide to Trossard, left to Martinelli, who looks to take on Sofao, plays it infield. Trossard looks for the return, his touch though as he received the ball wasn't great, and Mikel Arteta now jumping around on the touchline like a jack in a box and trying desperately to get his team back into shape. West Ham's shape has been a problem for Arsenal. They've struggled to open them up when West Ham have been without the ball.
Yeah, they have, and a lot of that is down to Alvarez. He's worked tirelessly across the pitch, doubling up on occasion and just filling the box around the penalty area, and that is absolutely valuable against a team like Arsenal.
Emerson takes the ball away after another attack from Arsenal is blunted by West Ham. It goes into the Arsenal half, and now Ødegaard takes it. And he's got a bit of room to run into for the first time, striding up to the midpoint of the West Ham half, lays it off to Zinchenko, and then he runs out towards this near side. 53 minutes gone, and Arsenal have the ball with Gabriel. Now Martinelli, his cross is a high one, Bono will easily deal with that. It drops on the edge of the box for Sofao to nudge it further clear, and then Bowen will bring it out and out to Kudus on this near side. Kudus tries to take on Gabriel. He waited, pinched it, and Arsenal back in possession again.
Great defending by Gabriel there. When you're faced up with Kudus, he's a bag of tricks. Use the touchline as his best friend, as all good defenders should do. Just muscled him out.
Son hits the side netting for Tottenham. Here is Martinelli, moving towards the edge of the penalty area. Back to Zinchenko, guides it to Trossard. Rice now with a shot from distance, and he hits the top of the net. The roof of the net ripples, and it goes behind the way for a goal kick, but it was a signal of intent from Declan Rice. And I think had it been just an inch or so lower, it may well have beaten the goalkeeper. It was hit so fiercely.
To be honest with you, it's games like this where probably I think Declan should sort of free himself a little bit and say, listen, I'm going to have to try and win the game for this football team on my own if I possibly can.
He's got the propensity to do it. Lovely touch by Ødegaard into Martinelli, who runs up to the edge of the D. Took too long to deal with the ball. He didn't shift that on. He didn't. He invited the challenge. The challenge came, and West Ham then go up the other end on the attack. The ball from Benrahma isn't good enough for Bowen, gobbled up by Raya, and we're on the attack with Arsenal again.
Yeah, this is the last thing West Ham want, really, is a game that's going to swing from end to end to end, and that'll end up isolating fullbacks.
Martinelli into Jesus inside the area, who again is nobbled by Alvarez. Kudus comes away with it. It's opening up this game now, and I'm not sure that's in West Ham's best interest, but I'm not sure it's in their worst. Here is Bowen. Down the left-hand side is Alvarez to take over. Emerson sends a cross in towards the near post, takes a deflection off White and goes behind, and it's out for a corner.
As I say, I'm looking at Kevin Nolan right in front of me in the technical area, and he's talking to Areola, and he's gesturing sort of end to end, and I don't think he really wants that. I don't think West Ham want an end-to-end game.
No, they're quite happy with the way the game is going. From Arsenal labouring and trying to open them up. Arsenal will be happy because there's more space to play in when the game is stretched and open. But there always is the propensity for West Ham to get further ahead, which if they do that, they'll be pretty delighted.
Well, if they do, it'll come through Bowen and Kudus, because they are the two that are dynamic on the counter.
Here is the corner. James Ward-Prowse into the centre. The header is off the crossbar from Mavropanos, and the former Arsenal player scores, and it's 2-0 to West Ham at the Emirates. And Arsenal's hopes of going back to the top of the table are being wrecked by West Ham. It's
It's a brilliant delivery from James Ward-Prowse, as you would expect. And the former Arsenal defender, Dinos Mavropanos, rose unchallenged on the edge of the 6-yard box, headed the ball against the underside of the bar, and heads West Ham United into a 2-goal lead.
Well, I've got to say, as you would expect from Ward-Prowse, a wonderful corner in, whipped across the 6-yard box, and Mavropanos, I often think the ones who run the quickest and the furthest, and I'm not sure whether that is an own goal. I'm looking at that again, and I don't know whether Mavropanos has headed it or it's caught a defender just in behind him, but he's created the reaction.
Well, we'll see the replay again. Declan Rice and William Saliba look at one another. Gabriel's unhappy. Konstantinos Mavropanos has been awarded the goal on the scoreboard here, and he has been awarded it on the official Premier League feed. So we will see whether or not that is the case. I only seen half a replay of that, which was a bit of a surprise, really. But it is a second West Ham United goal, and it's full time down at the Amex Stadium. Here is TalkSport's Ian Abraham.
Brighton 4, Spurs 2. Brighton 4 up in this game thanks to a couple of penalties from João Pedro, one in each half. A Jack Hinshelwood strike and a goal of the game. A real banger from Pervis Estepinian. Spurs made a fight of it in the last 10 minutes. Velez with his first goal in English football, and a Ben Davies header. Both sides hit the post. Both sides had goals disallowed. Brilliant football on TalkSport 2 tonight. Finished here, Brighton 4, Spurs 2.
Yeah, and Moose was right. Game was over once the third goal went in. It was won by Brighton, and all 3 points goes their way in a setback for Ange Postecoglou. But a great game to watch, and a great game here unfolding. West Ham leading by 2-0. They've had 25.5% possession in the game. They've scored 2 goals, and they're undoing Arsenal.
Well, they had another opportunity to sweep up the pitch, but Benrahma's pass was loose again. You've got to understand that.
To the top corner, gets underneath it and it elevates it far too high as he swirls it towards the far corner. Goes out of play. West Ham lead by 2-0. Souček and Mavropanos with the goal. The first goal for Dinos Mavropanos in West Ham colours, and it's come against his former side.
If I was Arsenal now, I'd be tempted to move Odegaard to the left side where Trossard is at the moment, because he's in and around Alvarez, and I think that suits West Ham because their best defensive player is probably in and around their best creative player.
Yeah, he's got to free himself of Alvarez's grasp.
Exactly that.
If he's going to be able to do what he does best, which is provide the bullets for the others to fire. Here is Declan Rice. Oh, he's given the ball away to Kudus. Kudus turns around, looks up, tries to play it wide. Sofao, who's got already 4 Premier League assists, 5 Premier League assists this season. Plays the ball against Martinelli, then Azarel with David Moyes. David Moyes is telling him off. He's turned around and said, what? And then gets an explanation from David Moyes, quite a vocal and verbal one.
That explanation was, when the ball boy goes for the ball, make sure you don't catch it when he throws it at you.
Souček down the right side, plays it out, and it goes for a goal kick away to our right-hand side. And there's going to be a couple of changes here for Arsenal, including Reece Nelson, who's about to come on for the Gunners, who are just going to have to change up their attack. Eddie Nketiah is coming on too, as they look to try and spice up their creativity going into the final half an hour of the match. They're 2-0 down. And remember, it was the other way round in April last year. It was Arsenal who led by 2-0, and then West Ham who came back and scored 2 goals, and that was the start of things falling apart for Arsenal and the title. Here is Gabriel Martinelli. Infield it goes. Away by Benrahma, and then picked up by Sofao. Onto the near side. Arteta's almost on the pitch coaching Zinchenko, pushing him towards Kudus. He's so close to Kudus on this near touchline. He was actually in danger of hitting him when he was doing his gesticulations there.
Well, I think he's getting tight to Kudus like Zinchenko probably should have done.
West Ham will go up to 6 above Manchester United if they win this game. At the moment, they are winning this game by 2 goals to 0. And there's half an hour to go. Live on TalkSport in the rain and the swirly wind at the Emirates. Saka back to Rice. Rice takes a step to his right. He's 5 yards outside the box on the right side, on to Saka. Saka tries to come infield. Oh, was he caught there on the edge of the box by Emerson? Referee said play on. There's a few half-hearted appeals on the far touchline. The referee doesn't give anything, and it goes back to Saliba, who just feeds the ball down the right channel. Collected by Ødegaard now. Comes up against James Ward-Prowse as he approaches the right angle of the penalty area. Just pushes it on into the path of Saka, who's crossed to the near post. Is away by Ogbonna, only as far as Ben White, then Ødegaard, who takes an extra touch to play it into Declan Rice. Again, intricate football on the edge of the area, but it's probably best to try and get it into the box, where it's where West Ham don't want to be. Here's Saka, edge of the area, shooting at goal, blocked by Ogbonna. Out as far as Gabriel, who's almost on the edge of the D. They're pushing so many men forward here, Arsenal, in search of a way back into the game. Again, they probe, this time with Saliba. Just pushed into the path of Ødegaard. Out wide right is Ben White. His cross is blocked by James Ward-Prowse. Flicked into the air and out to the far side. Ødegaard stops it before he goes out for a throw. He turns it back and looks again to turn his guns on West Ham. He makes a bit of space for himself. Looks up, left-footed, delivers a cross into the near post. Jesus is not going to win that with Ogbonna, and then a poor header by Zinchenko allows Bowen to escape, and he's fed Kudus on the halfway line. James Ward-Prowse is over on the far side if they can feed him. He gives it to Bowen instead. They've checked back and just calmed the play down, and then Kudus is nudged to the ground. Referee says play on, but West Ham have possession and have taken the sting out of Arsenal's latest attack.
Yeah, really good opportunity there to play a final pass in. They turned the opportunity down and gone backwards and actually gives Arsenal the ball now.
Yeah, Trossard has taken it off Alvarez, who made a little bit of a mistake after a not a great ball by Emerson. Saka plays it in towards the area. Ødegaard away, Ogbonna into the air, and now Bowen outwits Saliba and powers past him and into the West Ham half. He's got Kudus to his right. He couldn't quite feed him in time, and it goes all the way through to the edge of the box, and Arsenal got it again. 2-0 to West Ham. Desperate.
The game's getting stretched now, and Arsenal could benefit from it.
Saka down the right into the near post. Out comes Alphonse Areola. There's a bit of a juggling act by the French goalkeeper, and a defender ends up behind the goal as a result of a collision with Jesus, and it's going to be a goal. Well, it's going to be play on because the goalkeeper's got it in his hands. 2 substitutes. He's still holding on to it. How long are you allowed to hold on to the ball now? The referee's told him to get on with it, and eventually kicks clear over the halfway line. And the West Ham fans are singing their famous song. Yes, if it does get stretched, it does benefit Arsenal, but there is going to be a period, and we know that because of Arsenal's quality, that they are going to, at some point, create chances, and West Ham have just got to dig in. Zinchenko off, Martinelli off, Nelson on, and so is Eddie Nketiah. Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, as I say, I think they had to ring the changes, Arsenal. They've been knocking on the door, but that door at present has been firmly shut. But there's 1 or 2 players in the West Ham ranks are just breaking rank at
ball
the
in
moment.
towards the near post. Jesus rises, heads the ball straight into the arm of the goalkeeper, Alphonse Areola. When you say breaking ranks, do you mean just sort of creaking in terms of their defensive rigidity, not doing their duty?
Exactly. You know, in the first half, manfully, they were doubling up and whatever. They were just, all of a sudden, you're seeing Arsenal breaking slightly, and the recovery runs are not as quick as they should be. Certain individuals just getting out of position slightly, and Arsenal will take full effect of that, especially man for man in the front areas. They are certainly one of the best sides in the country.
Earlier on today, Brighton beat Tottenham by 4 goals to 2. Here at the Emirates Stadium, we've got a good 25 minutes to go. It's Arsenal 0, West Ham 2. This is going to be a huge result for West Ham United. West Ham's record against Arsenal is patchy, 2 wins in 17 in all competitions. I reminded you of that 2-goal lead that Arsenal let slip the last time these two met. That was at the London Stadium, though. winning here doesn't happen for very often. They have already beaten them in the League Cup, although there wasn't much changed Arsenal team. Nketiah trying to drive the ball into the box from the right side. The ball bobbling around. Ødegaard adds a bit of poise, twists away from James Ward-Prowse, then plays a nice ball into White, who's crossed the back post, met by Jesus, and headed over the bar. What a chance.
That was a great chance, and what I was saying about players switching off, Benrahma's switched off there, runner in behind him, and Ben White's just dinked an absolute exquisite ball to the far post, and just I think the curl of the ball has hit the forehead of Jesus and he couldn't keep it down.
You're listening to Arsenal 0, West Ham 2 on TalkSport with Now, and don't forget that with Now you can stream the Premier League live without a contract from £11.99. Search Now Sports. And remember, more live football from the Championship tomorrow, TalkSport 2. Our programme starts nice and early, 6 o'clock the kick-off on TalkSport 2 on Friday night. There's a full EFL programme for you to get your teeth into. Adrian Durham on air on Friday night as well, giving you the second of those games on TalkSport. Then Saturday's Luton against Chelsea, Manchester City in action from 3 on TalkSport 2, and then Sunday session from 1:30 will take you round 2 grounds, because we've got Arsenal and Fulham in action on Sunday, which is going to be one of the games that we focus on this Sunday afternoon, and then Liverpool-Newcastle Monday night live and exclusive to National Radio. Tuesday night we're with West Ham again. West Ham-Brighton Tuesday night. Wednesday night, I'm sure there must be another game somewhere. I'm doing a game Wednesday night, but I think that might be in La Liga. And then Thursday night, it is Crystal Palace against Everton, the FA Cup third round. I'll be down at Selhurst Park for that one. Looking forward to it. Then Friday night, Tottenham, isn't it? And Brentford Wolves as well. Yeah, 2 games on TalkSport 2. And then just, I think it's 3 games on Saturday that we're bringing you, including Sunderland against Newcastle, Stoke Brighton, and Chelsea against Preston, all from the FA Cup third round. Sunday's busy as well. Manchester City against Huddersfield and Arsenal against Liverpool. And then we're going to get to Manchester United on Monday night. That enough for you? That enough? Yeah, that's enough. For now, anyway. Because I think the next night we've got Middlesbrough against Chelsea in the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup. They come thick and fast at this time of year. Here down the right-hand side, Saka chasing. The games are coming thick and fast for Arsenal, and this one maybe coming a little bit too fast, hot on the heels of that Liverpool game on Saturday night. I mean, they've had more rest than most over this Christmas period, but they have run out of ideas a bit in this game. The best ball of the night came through and was headed over the top by Jesus, with 2 goals, with very little else in terms of attacking thrust from West Ham, have put them in pole position to win this game and win at Arsenal for the first time, I think, in 6 years. Here is Gabriel, back to Nelson, then out to the right side. David Moyes has never won at Arsenal away from home, with Everton, with Manchester United, with Sunderland, or with West Ham United. That might be about to change. Here is Ødegaard out on the right. Back in field it goes to White, then Rice. Ødegaard making room for a cross. A cross he delivers into Nketiah. A little flick from behind by Nelson. Didn't quite catch it. It runs out to the near side. Jesus has chased it. He's won it. He was fouled in the left corner there by Kudus. That is going to be a free kick down by the byline. And another opportunity for Arsenal. And you just sense that even though they haven't been able to construct too many chances, if they do keep playing like this, they'll get a set piece or something where they get some bit of fortune that goes their way.
Well, I don't think they've had the rub of the ball in the box, Sam. You know, they've had a couple of chances, a few ricochets. It's just not fell to Arsenal for a clear-cut opportunity. And, well, listen, West Ham will be delighted by that, but it only takes one. And you know, if they do it at the back of the net, then, well, anything could happen in this game.
The momentum can change, can't it?
100%.
Here is the free kick to be taken by Reiss Nelson on this near side. He's about a yard back from the edge of the penalty area. He overhits it. I mean, it was like a short hockey corner, and he absolutely smashed it high over the top of everybody who had congregated in the 6-yard box and out of play.
Yeah, he's attempting, obviously, to flash one on target across the face of goal, but certainly got it If you get them wrong, they can look wrong.
It's currently Arsenal 0, West Ham 2, and for the latest odds you can head to Ladbrokes, where right now you can get Arsenal to win the game at 17-2, the draw 19-5. West Ham 10-3 on. It's all thanks to Ladbrokes, 18 plus BeGamble. Aware.org. Here's Nelson, trundling down the touchline left side, trying to get into an advanced position. He's stopped by James Ward-Prowse and by Edson Alvarez. It's won by Kudus. Alvarez smashed into another tackle. So far away. Taken down by Declan Rice, nudged on to the left, it's picked up, played left again to Gabriel, and then all the way back to the halfway line, where Saliba will play it across to Ben White. We've got 19 to go on Talk Sport. Here is Saliba into Trossard, floats it forward, looking for Jesus. Header away by Emerson, covering well, but that's left space for Saka. Edge of the box, onto Declan Rice, whose strike is blocked by Ogbonna. Half cleared by Souček. Back it comes in the midpoint of the West Ham half with Trossard. On the left, Gabriel joining the attack. He then runs forward, gives the ball to Rice. Rice plays it down the left channel, but that's going to be a stretch for Nelson to reach that. And Sofao and Kudus bring it clear. Nelson dives in, gives away a free kick. That's going to be a West Ham United ball on the near side. It might be the first yellow card of the game.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that was the first yellow card of the game, and I'm not sure that I've seen one or two others that have been just as bad as that, or just as tame as that, whichever way you look at it.
It was only a little tickle, really, that, wasn't it?
Tickle. Literally that. Tickle.
18 minutes to go. And it's West Ham on the attack, leading by 2-0. Benrahma's done well to take the ball beyond White. He's then got into the penalty area and he's tried a shot after a ricochet, which has bounced away off White. It goes back to Saka, who's on the edge of his own box, and then Nketiah gets a flick on and then tests himself for pace against Ogbonna. Ogbonna gets it back to his goalkeeper, who was a little bit tested by the spicy pace on the ball, fell over as he kicked it clear, but did manage to get it clear. Emerson, who's done brilliantly to weave his way up the pitch and play it out wide to Benrahma. Benrahma back into James Ward-Prowse, and West Ham, just when they get the ball now, have got to take care of it. They've got to make sure that they don't invite constant pressure from Arsenal. I mentioned beforehand that they concede so many goals in the second half. Only Luton and Sheffield United concede more second half goals than West Ham United, but it is a second half goal that they have scored that looks at this moment in time to be sealing points for them. 17 to go. Nelson charges towards the box. He of the dramatic winner against Bournemouth last season. Infield it goes to Trossard. Wider on to Saka. Saka, eyes darting everywhere. But again, as he looks up, he just sees 10 blue shirts in front of him that he's got to try and negotiate. Nelson, though, finds Nketiah. Then across comes Sofao. Comes back to Saka, edge of the area. His shot is blocked. Ødegaard picks it up. Then tries to go on the inside. Ødegaard still probing and trying to prise open this rigid defence. Into Trossard, who spins, shoots, saved by Areola. And when he manages to get away from the West Ham defence to get a shot away, Areola is there to deny him.
Yeah, Ødegaard was there, manfully marshalled, but Trossard's managed to cushion the ball as it's come across the face of goal, taking it beyond Ogbonna, and his effort was saved by Areola.
Good chance for Arsenal, but it's still 2-0 to West Ham. Delivery from Ødegaard into towards the near post. A flick towards the far stick from Saliba is cleared off the line by Sofao. Back it goes from Trossard towards the far side, headed away by Edson Alvarez. Up goes Emerson Palmieri, and he manages to clear into opposition territory, and Rice has to intervene because otherwise Benrahma was away. Bowen tracks back and tries to cause problems for Saka, but Saka held it well, played it to Saliba. Now wide on the Arsenal right, Ødegaard coming in field. They're getting increasingly desperate now, Arsenal. The shot from distance from Ødegaard is about 7 yards wide. It cracks into an advertising hoarding behind the goal, and the danger for this moment at least is past.
Yeah, I think long-range efforts like that will please West Ham, to be quite honest with you. They need to keep working it and trying to expose a player just switching off in and around the byline, those little slide passes and then a pullback. Just looking at the replay of the latest cross going into the box, and Kufau done fantastically well covering his far post.
73% possession for Arsenal. They've had 18 attempts to West Ham's 5, 4 only on target in the match. 2 on target from West Ham. Both of them have ended up in the back of the net.
And it is 2-0 to the Hammers. And David Moyes is standing down in front of us, just wearing his rather lightweight jacket today, rain repellent. And he's just watching on with his hands in his pockets, rammed into his pockets. His hair now a dusty grey, constantly barking instructions. Mikel Arteta looks a little bit agitated, but also just a little bit sort of frustrated, because he knows that his team have had and enjoyed a lot of possession up until the edge of the penalty area, but haven't constructed or taken the chances that have come their way. It's a West Ham free kick, far side, 12 yards inside opposition territory, and it's whipped down towards the corner by James Ward-Prowse to Ben Rama, who fashions enough to control the ball, thought he'd won a corner, and then it's out for a goal kick. Ben White makes sure there's not two balls on the pitch. Play on, says the referee. David Moyes is coming over to have a word with the fourth official. And
I think what he's just said to the fourth official there is someone in the stand has just said to me that I'm a dusty grey, and he bills himself as a strawberry blonde.
Oh, that's gone, I'm afraid. Emile Smith-Rowe going to come on. He can't hear me from here. I'm at the back of the lower tier, underneath right underneath the roof here. The ball is back with Declan Rice. He strides out towards the left side. He plays it into Reece Nelson, the substitute. Can West Ham hold on here? Can they hold firm? They lead by 2 goals to 0. 13 plus stoppage to time to play. Hair out wide is Saka. He cuts infield. He finds Trossard, who's looking to bundle his way through, but Souček is there, then Alvarez is there. Those two midfield players have been terrific again tonight. Ødegaard in the right wing position, tries to find a bit of room for the cross. He instead has to send it back to Trossard, the Belgian, outside the penalty area, wide right. Saliba looking for Saka, back to goal, trying to turn. He does, he shoots down low to the goalkeeper's right. He drops on the ball and makes a smart save.
Yeah, as I say, Saka probably having a little bit too much room in the box for West Ham's liking, but he's hit the shot and didn't get enough purchase on it. And Areola dropped down and fielded it.
One result like this is never going to influence what you do in a January transfer window, but it was interesting to hear Mikel Arteta talk about the fact that he felt his squad was thin going into these Christmas games. He felt as if they picked up injuries and suspension which caused them grief. No Havertz tonight, of course. What do you think they need in that January transfer window just to give them an extra edge?
I think they need a striker, personally. To complement what they've already got in the front line. That will be the position for me. If they could bring someone in that could get them 10 goals in the remaining 20 games or however many it is, that will be a big boost.
Emile Smith-Rowe comes on, and he's going to replace Leandro Trossard, who came into the team tonight because of the suspension to Havertz. Smith-Rowe is a very popular figure here, hasn't had too many opportunities this season, hasn't always been 100% fit. He hasn't scored in any of his 10 appearances this season. He had a knee injury, and there was a little bit of frustration that he hadn't been able to get back from that as quick as maybe Arsenal had hoped. There were so many high hopes for him when he first burst onto the scene. There was the song about Saka and Smith-Rowe. He played for England. And I think he scored in San Marino, if my mind serves me correctly. But his career has just hit the buffers a little bit, and he would like to get it back on track. Here is Ødegaard into the box, looking for Smith-Rowe, goes flying towards it at the far post, but couldn't quite connect with a missile of a delivery from the boot of Martin Ødegaard. It was a terrific delivery, and he was so close to latching onto the end of it.
He certainly was, and it was Mavropanos, I think. I don't know, he couldn't have got anywhere near it. Smith-Rowe come flying in, and it was just too advanced for him. I've got to say, Alvarez has been magnificent. His defensive work, and he's also been the one dropping in, knitting things together. He's had a superb game today.
Big 6 weeks coming up for Arsenal, might be defining Liverpool twice. This is the first of 2 games against West Ham. Trips to Fulham, trips to Forest upcoming. And if they want to compete with the very best, then they need to ensure that they get through games like this without too much damage. They're going to lose all 3 points here, and it's going to be West Ham that pick them up unless there's a late change. Here is White on the right-hand side, into Saka, back towards the edge of the penalty area. It's collected by Ødegaard, and Bowen stands in his way and takes it clear, and then Bowen will try and run it over on the far side. Remember, straight after we finish tonight, whenever that is, we will get all the reaction to all the night's football with Jermaine Pennant and Jason Cundy. 03717223344. It's the first port of call tonight for your chance to have your say on the night's football. Arsenal fans might want to call, West Ham fans might want to call as well. Speak to Jason and Jermaine Pennant, 03717223344. Breakfast show tomorrow, Dean Saunders and Jamie O'Hara. Here's Saka into the box, or was he tricked inside the area? He's gone down as he exchanged passes with Jesus. He felt he was clipped. It's guilty for holding on to Jesus in the first place, and then he just wafted a foot out. I think it would be soft.
Well, if we're looking, well, he's dangled his leg, he's left his leg there, and for me that isn't a penalty.
It's not a penalty in VAR, although they are checking it. I mean, I don't think that's a penalty, and I think that check should be over very quickly.
Yeah. And in all honesty, if you want to outlaw diving in the game, you have to clamp down on things like that.
Yeah. We are waiting for the VAR check. They are seriously looking at it. They're showing us the replays. It's not Noni Madueke against Crystal Palace last night, and also it can't be a penalty because the reason that Ogbonna is restricted in his movement to try and challenge for the ball is because Jesus is pulling his shorts. So it can't be a penalty, surely.
So he's got mitigating circumstances.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
That's exactly what you're saying.
I don't think that can be a penalty, but they are taking a good look at it, and then they've just given a throw-in, as I thought they would. Ball sent down the right for Kudus to go on the attack. He goes on the outside, gets a low cross in, takes a deflection. It's a corner to West Ham United.
I think everything's gone West Ham's way, but you make your own luck in your work rate, and I think their work rate as a team, collectively, has been magnificent. And Arsenal have just not had the rub of the green in the box, I don't think. And when you look, if you're comparing Arsenal as potential league winners, you look at Liverpool, and in the front end of Liverpool's team, you think they've got more goal-scoring options. And probably the same with City.
Ward-Prowse delivers the corner towards the far post. Mavropanos gets on the end of it, but it isn't as damaging as his last header. It goes out wide of the Arsenal penalty area on the left-hand side to Bowen. Tossed back in by Ben Rama. Rice with the header away, and Saka gets it clear. If it stays like this, the top 10 in the Premier League at the halfway stage will look like this. At 10, Chelsea, 25 points from 19 games. The crunching challenge goes in on Saka. Newcastle, 9th, 29 from 19. Brighton will be up to 8th tonight after their victory, 30 points from 19 games. 31, Manchester United come next at 7. Up 2 places from last week's 8 to this week's 6. West Ham United, they're moving into the European places. And then above them, Tottenham. Manchester City, 5 off the top with a game to play extra. Then come Aston Villa. Arsenal second, 2 points behind Liverpool, who we feature on Monday Night Football. Unless there's a change in the next 5 minutes, of course. Here is Ederson Alvarez taking the ball after Saka tried to cross it. He's dragged his team up to the halfway line, and then when he realised there wasn't a forward ball on, he stopped, turned, ran back into space and gave it back to his goalkeeper.
Absolutely magnificent play there. He potentially should have released Bowen, but at this stage of the game, your team keeping possession of the ball is probably more valuable than gambling with a forward pass.
You're listening to Arsenal 0, West Ham 2, TalkSport and Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has vans of all shapes and sizes, so if you've got a plan, they've got a van. That's the experience that you need, though, isn't it? When you bring a player in like that, a good player from another league, to show that nous, that's what he gives you, Edson Alvarez. Terrific. Here is Ødegaard inside the area, able to turn and then running at the West Ham defence, who constrict and stop and try and block everything as the ball goes in towards Nketiah. Comes out to Smith Rowe. He digs out a shot, but he had no power in it, and it was saved to the left by Areola. And there's just 5 minutes now for West Ham to hang on.
Yeah, they've just got enough numbers around the ball every time it's come in the box. There's 2s, 3s, 4s, and blockage. And if shots have come through, Areola's been in the right position to field it.
Well, often Mikel Arteta's changes do come up trumps. Only Brighton have made more goals from substitutions this season, but maybe some of the Arsenal supporters are losing heart because there's quite a lot of them that have decided to leave at 2-0 down with 4 minutes remaining. They don't believe in the comeback tonight. Here is Benrahma, who's stealing forward for West Ham United. A smash and grab raid at the Emirates by David Moyes' team could be his first ever 3 points away at Arsenal in the offing. Here is Souček looking to try and win the ball. That looked like a foul to me by Jesus. The referee said no. They played on, he's back on his feet, and it's taken on by Emil Smith Rowe over the halfway line, charging forward, plays it left. Reiss Nelson gets hold of it, takes on Sofao, put out of play, it's away for an Arsenal throw with 3.5 to go.
Yeah, I've got to say, I don't think that was a foul for me on Souček. And Arsenal pushing men forward, but West Ham, every man's within 20 metres of the goal defending that box.
Jesus backs the wall stuff from West Ham. Ødegaard approaches the edge of the D, gets a bump pass off Jesus and looks for a shot, which takes a deflection into the air. And again, look, you know, we can say things aren't running for them. We can say that things have been unlucky in certain circumstances, Arsenal, but actually West Ham have defended so manfully, so well. They've put so many blocks in. They've done their best to cover the ground that they've made it almost impossible for Arsenal.
Yeah, they have. As I say, defensively, the shape of the team's been magnificent, and they've got outlets. First 30 minutes in Paqueta, Kudus and Bowen have been brilliant outlets for the team to get them up the pitch when they've needed to be.
2-0 to West Ham United. Goals scored by Souček in the first half, Mavropanos in the second half, and Arsenal haven't been able to find a response. But they've got 2.5 minutes plus stoppage time. Here is Nelson down the left-hand side, looking and finding Gabriel. Gabriel moves up towards the edge of the box. Smith Rowe has it now. Out wide it goes. On towards Nelson once more. His cross, I'm not entirely sure what that was aimed towards, but Nketiah managed to make something of it. He's got it in the right channel now, trying to take on Edson Alvarez. Good luck with trying to beat him. He doesn't, but he does win a corner.
Yeah, really good covering. Alvarez has just slid from that central area into a semi-wide area and just stopping that little extra pass that's come in. He stood on his feet. He's not give his wicket away cheaply.
Yeah, he's brilliant at reading the game, pinching the ball, stopping the pass into the guy who's the danger. There's an overhead kick which is going to test the goalkeeper, and it was from Eddie Nketiah, but it was a half-hearted effort really. He never really got the proper contact on it. And as it came out from the corner, his right-footed effort was easily palmed by goalkeeper Alphonse Areola, who's made a few saves tonight. One really good one from Saka's header in the first half, but hasn't really been tested enough by Arsenal, which almost sort of underscores what Stuart Pearce was saying, that maybe if they are going to spend any money in the January transfer window, then it is that poacher, that goal scorer that they need in order to try and get themselves to the kind of level that Liverpool and Manchester City have in terms of goal output. They have scored 36 goals this season, but Aston Villa, Manchester City and Liverpool, even Tottenham, have all scored more than them. Here come Nelson down the left-hand side, moving towards the byline, tracked by 2 West Ham United players. In it goes to the near post, eaten up by Souček, and then West Ham will bring it clear. Kudus back to Sofao. Had to dig in tonight, West Ham. Really defensive display. Haven't had too much of the ball. Apologies if there was any industrial language that crept through our effects mic there. Here's Ødegaard from distance. He shoots the ball towards the near post, and Alphonse Areola has to go across and make a save this time. And it's a fingertip one that turns it round the post.
Well, he's got 2 hands on it by the looks of first viewing. And I thought it squirmed through his hands for a moment into the back of the net. Great strike.
5 minutes of added time at the end of the 90. And it is a corner kick to Arsenal. If they need to strike, they need to do it now. Comes out to the edge of the area, set by Nelson, who does hit it over the top of the crossbar. Only just, but he got himself set, then went for the top left corner, couldn't get it under the crossbar.
No, it's one of those games at the end of it, if Arsenal don't score, that the manager's going to say to you, we could have been there all night and not scored. I think things just haven't fallen for them, and West Ham have just defended manfully.
I'll make sure whatever I say I don't say. I saw you looking agitated down there, Mikel. What was the problem?
Are you looking over your shoulder for relegation? Don't say that like you did to Roy, please.
Roy said that to me. I didn't say it to him. He was stirring the pot there. It wasn't just me he fell out with. He fell out with everyone last night, Roy. He wasn't very happy. Mikel will be in much better mood, trust me. He's always better in defeat than he is in victory anyway. Well, that's not true at all, but, you know, let's try and manifest it. Here is Saka down the right-hand side. You'll hear those on the sports bar with Jamie and Jermaine, with Jason and Jermaine in a few moments. Here's Saka into the box trying to turn. Shoots it, gets a deflection, it goes behind. Even his appeal for the corner was half-hearted. He is going to get it, though. And we are deep into stoppage time now. And Arsenal are desperate to try and get something to give them a little bit of hope. A flick on by Saliba at the near post. It just goes over the top. And they've hit the post through Saka in the first half. They've got a save from Areola. Chances that have got hearts in mouths and bums off seats have been few and far between. Mavropanos and Souček have done the damage at the other end, and Souček now helping out to block the cross that comes in. It's back in again, and Mavropanos heads it high into the air. 92 minutes on the clock. Benrahma whacks it away. It's a big up and under, which gets the ball to halfway. Smith Rowe does well, takes it down, turns it back round, and faces up the West Ham defence. Plays it wide to Jesus. In by Gabriel to the far post. Saka tries to bring it down. Sets it back. Nketiah. Blocked by Ogbonna. Comes back out of the penalty area. On to Gabriel. West Ham again digging in. Backs to the wall. Trying desperately to plug any little small gap that Arsenal could try. 10 wins in 14 games for West Ham United. That is not a good run. That's a terrific run.
Yeah, it's not bad. Don't forget there's a few want Dave out still.
He said he's going to sort out his future in January. Well, they keep going on a run like this. I think his future should be sorted out for him, because he deserves the platform, the ability to build on this platform that he's given the club, I think. Here on the left-hand side, the ball is with James Ward-Prowse. He looks to try and play in Bowen, but it wasn't enough, and then Rice has dangled a leg. Emerson's gone down. Penalty to West Ham in the 95th minute. Rice gives away a penalty against his old club, the team he captained to the Conference League final last season. He looks to the heavens, he can't quite believe it. It was a tired challenge from Declan Rice. He shakes his head, he walks away, and West Ham have the chance to go 3-0 up in stoppage time.
Yeah, the ball's broke in the box just on the left-hand side, and Declan's just sort of lost his footing slightly. Then it was a tired lunge that Emerson got onto straight away and was just brought down. And Benrahma's got the opportunity to make this not just a fantastic result, a wonderful result.
Well, the West Ham fans are already celebrating behind the goal because they know they're going to win it no matter what happens with this kick of the football. But Saeed Benrahma has not taken a penalty since the Conference League final. He has placed the ball down. He scored on that famous night in Prague. If he scores here, it'll be a famous night for West Ham in North London. Right-footed, saved down low by David Raya. It's a really good save. A
brilliant save by the goalkeeper.
Well, it was an absolute top quality save. He's dived to his left, got two big hands on it. If you're going to miss a penalty, miss it when the final whistle goes.
Yeah, miss it in stoppage time when you're leading by 2 goals to nil. And it is inconsequential in the end, that penalty miss from Saïd Benrahma, but the result is not inconsequential. No point having 2 Christmas #1s if you can't stay the course and land a spot on the main stage in May. Drop points against West Ham last season cost Arsenal, and they could prove costly this. At a time when City were away, they failed to make hay. A draw at Anfield, defeat to West Ham, leaves Arsenal's dreams under threat and the Premier League congested at the top of the table. It's the first time in his career that David Moyes has ever won at Arsenal in his long managerial reign at all of his clubs, but he's done it tonight on a pivotal night in North London. 2 goals, 1 in either half. Souček and Mavropanos have taken all 3 points back to the London Stadium. It's finished. Arsenal 0, West Ham United 2.
Well, what a night for West Ham at the Emirates. There's a little bit of choice words being shared by a couple of players out there. Gabriel, the Arsenal centre-back, not happy with Jared Bowen. He doesn't care. He's jogging off into that corner, beckoned over by the captain on the night for West Ham, Angelo Ogbonna, who lifts both fists above the air and punches the sky. Every single West Ham fan still in their seat. Of course they are. What a night for them, winning away at Arsenal. David Moyes applauds them for their support. But you have to say, for any of you West Ham fans, whether you're in the Emirates or not, would you really not give David Moyes a new contract? Have you lost your mind? You should have really won 3-0, but it's a 2-0 win at the Emirates. Saïd Benrahma misses a penalty late on, and it doesn't matter, who cares? But what David Moyes has done for this football club, as Sam points out, 10 wins in 14 in all competitions, up into the top 6 in the Premier League. What more does David Moyes have to do? Stuart, answer me that.
Well, I think his team are a reflection of him and his personality. Well organised, hard-working. He's added a little bit of stardust to the team this summer as well. In Kudos, as we saw, Paqueta as well. Bowen's continued to do the things that he's good at. And listen, his team were outstanding today. Arsenal huffed and puffed a lot. The ball didn't fall for them on occasion, understandably, but you can't take it away from West Ham. Alvarez has been magnificent. They doubled up where they had to against the talented Arsenal players, and it was enough to get a brilliant result for West Ham United.
I'd say David Sullivan, sign him up now. David Moyes doing absolutely brilliantly well. They led by a goal to nil at the half. Thomas Souček scoring in the first half, and as the second period began, Arsenal came out firing, as you might expect. They had a couple of half chances, nothing major. It was a similar pattern to the first half. And similarly to the first half, West Ham, the first chance they get to attack, they win a corner, and Mavropanos powers home. Fantastic goal. And at that point in time, it really looked like it would take something special for Arsenal to win this game.
Well, I just think they needed to hang on to something. When you're 1-0 at Arsenal, you always know you've got a problem. That gave them a massive lift. When you got a 2-0 cushion as such, it was absolutely perfect for them to hang on to. And the longer the game went on, the more comfortable I think they looked within the game.
Mavropanos, the former Arsenal man, with the goal. And yet after that, Arsenal did come back. They pushed, they probed. Gabriel Jesus with a couple of gilt-edged chances. I hate to focus on him, but he is Arsenal's number 9. He has a header within the width of the goal, straight at the goalkeeper, into his arms when he really should have scored. And a minute later, at the back post, a free header, doesn't even hit the target. And all of these fans will leave here, and they'll be thinking of the January transfer window, and they'll be begging their manager to sign us a striker, please, because that could be the difference, not tonight, but as in that area of the pitch, could be the difference between them, when you look at a team like Manchester City and Erling Haaland, or you look at a team like Liverpool and the numbers that Mohamed Salah puts up, between this Arsenal side winning a Premier League title and not.
Yeah, I can totally agree with that sentiment. It is the one thing you look at and think, look, if you're going into the market at all, if you could bring a striker in January that can get you 10 goals between now and the end